That's part of the magic, isn't it? Now, we love a fairy tale, don't we? Well, once upon a time, there were two football clubs, one stuck in non-league after having 30 points taken off them by the FA, the other left homeless after years of mismanagement. Rags to riches is an understatement. They both share centre stage today in front of a packed-out, roasting hot Wembley and a global audience who cannot wait to see who shall go to the Premier League ball. It's the Championship playoff final. It's live on Talksport. It's Coventry City against Luton Town. And here's your commentary team of former England striker Dean Ashton, a man who's won this playoff final twice, Ian Holloway, and first up, Talksport's chief football commentator, Sam Matterface.
Thank you, Adrian. Good afternoon, everyone. If a match could perfectly illustrate the beauty and the success of the football pyramid, then this is it. Two teams that 5 years ago played out a thrilling 2-2 draw in League Two that featured Liam Kelly of Coventry and Luke Berry and Dan Potts of Luton, now scrapping for a place in the biggest, most watched, most followed league in the world. Don't be fooled into thinking that the road to get to this point has been swift or smooth. They were both former top-flight regulars who dropped like stones. After 89 years, Luton went out of the league. Coventry were homeless and almost went out of business. But now under the arch at the magnificent Wembley, the riches and prestige of the Premier League are within touching distance for Rob Edwards and Mark Robins, two managers with fascinating stories of their own. The sun beaming down, the arch glinting, the huge bowl vibrant with its sky blue on one side and orange on the other. There's a sense of anticipation in the air, but only one set of supporters will have their thirst quenched by the time we get to 7 o'clock tonight. Luton and Irvie, this is playoff campaign number 7. All of them have ended in heartbreak. Coventry have never lost a playoff match. What happens this afternoon? Coventry in sky blue have Wilson in goal, McNally, McFadzean and Doyle. The wing-backs Norton, Duffy and Bidwell. A boxing midfield of Kelly, Sheaf, Allen and Harmer. Jokeres, the top scorer, up top. For Luton, it's Horvath in goal, who came off the bench in last year's Championship playoff final for Nottingham Forest. Osho, Lockyer and Bell, the back three. Drame, Nakamba, Doughty, and then Kelly Ruddock and Panzu, who encapsulates this Luton Town team, and Clark behind Adebayo and Morris in attack. Our referee is Michael Oliver. The VAR is Chris Kavanagh. Coventry go away to our right-hand side and into a huddle, lining up on the centre circle. All together as one, Luton Town. Atmosphere is crackling. The Luton Town players staring at their opponents away to our right-hand side. It's almost got the feel of the New Zealand All Blacks haka, the way they are standing and just lining up in front of their opponents as if to say, here we go. We're together as one and we're going to take you on. Well, Monday we have the League One playoff final. Wednesday we have the Europa League final with Sevilla going for yet another triumph versus Jose Mourinho's Roma. And then next Saturday it's the FA Cup final. Ian Holloway won a Championship playoff final with Blackpool, one with Crystal Palace. And Dean Ashton knows what it's like to be promoted. They're with us and we're underway. Dean, what's it like from a player's perspective to know so much is at stake?
Very difficult not to let the occasion get to you, to try and be calm, to try and make sure that your thoughts are in the right order and that you remember what the manager wants of you. But it's there for you, that's what you know. It's there to go down in history, do something that can be remembered forever.
Ian Holloway, how do you keep people's emotions in check just before you go out, or do you not? Is that the idea?
Well, what you have to do is keep reminding them why they're doing it, and it's normally their loved ones at home, to improve their lives, to go down in history and really stop getting involved in the emotion and just go and do your job. Just go and do what you've been doing very well all season and try and do it today in this arena.
Coventry have the ball deep inside their own half. It's season 37 of the EFL playoffs. The ball's been won on the far side by Luton momentarily, but it's half cleared. Eventually, Sheaf will nod it away. It goes down the right side into Luton territory. Lockyer goes out to the far touchline and he'll take the throw in for Luton deep inside their own half. Coventry use a box midfield. They aren't afraid to go after you. We saw that right from kickoff as Gyökeres went steaming into opposition territory. They'll press you all over the place. Gyökeres actually almost scored in the first half at Borough after pressing Zach Steffen in the semi-final. Both teams comfortable, Dean, not to have the ball. They average 46% possession across the season.
Yeah, I mean, they are very similar. The only real difference, I would say, is that box midfield you've just talked about and an extra player at the top end of the pitch for Luton. But defensively, very, very similar in the way that they defend as a unit with a packed midfield. So it's going to be difficult for either side, I think, to break through with some real quality. I think Gyökeres on the break, Carlton Morris and Adebayo on the break, those two sets of forward lines, they're going to be the difference for me.
Ball picked up in midfield by Allen, sees it back towards Doyle, who's on the left edge of the penalty area, all the way back to Ben Wilson, the Golden Glove winner in the Championship this season, the goalkeeper who strides the ball out towards the far side, collected by McNally, takes it up into midfield where Norton Cuffy will send it back towards his goalkeeper. Luton tend to go longer than Coventry. Only Rotherham, Birmingham and Millwall have played more long passes than Rob Edwards' team. Coventry aren't afraid to do that either. This is McFansian, deep inside his own half, towards the left and Doyle up to halfway. Harmer, when he's back to the halfway line, turns and tries to play it forward. Gustavo Harmer, who had a great end to the season, scored the goal that took them to Wembley and hit the bar from a free kick in that game as well. 10 goals over the campaign. He might be influential as well as Victor Gyökeres in this Coventry team today. Ball picked up in midfield by Sheaf. Good intelligent footballer, very clever boy apparently as well. And it's worked out wide towards the right. Norton Cuffy plays it infield up towards Gyökeres, who collides with Bell, and it's going to be a free kick to Luton just short of the halfway line.
I mean, Gyökeres naturally will want to exert his physical presence on the back three. He'll want to, I think, try and isolate Lockyer. I think right down the middle, they'll be looking just to play either side and make those arcing runs in behind Lockyer.
And Luton from a set piece send it long. Lockyer sends it into the penalty area. Doyle away. They are dangerous from set pieces, and they've managed to get the second ball. Adebayo trying to get hold of it inside the area. It comes back out on the edge of the box, and the canvas spreads it wide out to the left. And Doughty, who's got great delivery from that left-hand side, can send them in from that sort of range. It then takes a deflection off Norton Cuffy and bounces away for the first corner of the game. Here's Ian Holloway.
Yeah, so far I've been very impressed with the midfield four. The movement that they've got, and Gyökeres is really dangerous. He's on the last man, Lockyer, in the middle there. So this is the first opportunity that Luton have got to see what they do with this corner. They're brilliant at set pieces.
Yeah, big aggressive side. They want to try and get on the front foot from these sort of situations. They're a huge threat from crosses and wide areas and set pieces. The ball's aimed towards Lockyer. It comes down, it's scrambled towards goal, and then it's helped in at the far post. There may have been an infringement in there, maybe an offside, maybe even a handball, but it certainly looked as if it was a little bit scruffy when eventually it was put in. Lockyer's claiming that the ball had crossed the line. He's got 3 goals in his last 4 games. It will be checked by VAR, this. Our first use of VAR today. Chris Kavanagh having a quick look at it. Accusations is that it came off someone's hand, did it, or they're in an offside position on the way through. Either way, Michael Oliver was quick to rule it out. We're just waiting for VAR to check it. Dean Ashton.
I mean, look, I can't imagine that he would be offside, and if so, it is incredibly tight, and then you wonder whether there's a hand involved as well. Has Lockyer given a foul? Might just take a couple of seconds.
Well, Lockyer's header comes down into the box. Morris flicks it on, and then it comes through.
Yeah, he looked offside to me. He looked offside to me.
I think that may well be offside against Osho, who scored very early on in the game against Sunderland. the second leg at Kenilworth Road. Offside is the decision. As a result of that, no goal. That would have been a bright start, wouldn't it?
It certainly was. Well, it's lifted the Luton fans incredibly, because Coventry looked quite settled at first. You know, these moments are really important. You look at your team and they're settled down. But I think we've got a great game in our hands here.
I mean, that's a great example of what Luton want as well. I mean, 27% of their goals this season have originated from set plays, so not straight from the first. It's about that second, that third phase that players have got to be really alive to. Osho there, I thought, was brilliant. He was anticipating that knockdown from Morris.
Yeah, it was. It's something that was a feature of their game over the course of the season. Rob Edwards has made it a big part of what Luton do, and an early warning for Coventry City, where there have been nerves on the Coventry City bench. Dan Windle is sitting behind them.
Mark Robbins, Rob Edwards, the respective bosses, Sam, have not moved from the edge of their technical errors. If there are nerves, they're not showing them. Carter Morris, Luton's leading man, screaming at the Hatters midfield. He wants to get sprung in behind. He wants to stretch Coventry. Brilliant start.
0-0 the score. You're listening to Talksport. Ball headed away by McNally up towards halfway. Collected now, moved forward by Osho's. Had that goal disallowed. Immediately challenged by Harmer, who goes across and tries to shut him down. And it goes out of play and away for a Coventry City throw to be taken by Jake Bidwell. He lays it back into midfield. Sheaf forward. Harmer's got hold of it. Jokeres, good football this. Allen forward. It's behind Harmer. Has to try and hold off Osho now. Then skips infield. There was a challenge on him by Nakamba, which the referee didn't like. They want to take the free kick quickly. Not going to be allowed to. Coventry have a free kick just in front of the centre circle. Down in front of us, attacking the goal away to our left. They've got a bit of an issue here. Lockyer's gone down on the floor, and he needs a bit of help.
Yeah, this is a worry, because he's gone down, nobody near him at all, Lockyer. I don't like to see this at all.
Quite concerning, wasn't it? Because he just sort of went down away to our left-hand side, and that was after the ball seemingly had been put out of play. And immediately the medical staff are signalling for something rather serious here. They're asking for a stretcher for the Luton Town captain, Tom Lockyer, who has been finding his form recently with 3 goals in 4 games. And he has been struggling with a bit of a toe problem. At the beginning of the season, his future was in doubt. He came into the team because of Sonny Bradley's injury. And there is some concern about his well-being here. And the players have just trotted over towards the near touchline, so I'm hoping it's not as serious as it looks.
Unfortunately, that doesn't look good, does it? Good gracious me.
I mean, look, you can normally tell with the physio's reaction to any situation. For both physios to turn, I personally don't know what crossing the arms means, but
that's a signal, isn't it?
That is a signal then for other medical staff to come on. You know, we talked about the heat when we were down there at pitch side. We talked about the emotion of what it does to you in these sorts of games, and we really just hope that Lockyer is okay.
Well, they may have to make a change. And Luton Town already warming up. Reece Burke away to our left-hand side. That's happening. But there is concern on the faces of everyone.
I'm just wondering, was it from the corner where he got his head on it? He might have took a bit of a knock on it and then a delayed.
Well, actually, that's the worry, isn't it? Did he get a knock on the head at the corner prior to that? But there was no one around him when it happened, and that is the big concern. Well, we've seen the footage actually a couple of times of where he goes down way off the ball, and there isn't anybody around him. Just sort of almost falls to the ground and stumbles very quickly onto the floor, and he didn't really put his hands out to protect him, which always is a signal of a worry. Dan Windle is on the touchline.
Tom Lockyer down, receiving significant medical treatment from a number of Luton medical staff, Coventry medical staff and St John's ambulance. He will be getting put on the stretcher. Lockyer's playoff afternoon, final afternoon is over. Reece Burke is out warming up in front of you, Sam, out by the Luton fans on this near touchline here at Wembley. Rob Edwards, an immediate shake of the head. Lockyer, a warrior for them, marshals their defensive unit. He's just actually gone out onto the pitch, Rob Edwards, to talk to the other 9 plus the goalkeeper. Outfield players, talking them through what comes next. Losing Lockyer is as big a blow, a big puff out of his cheeks, Rob Edwards. To lose Lockyer, huge for Luton.
Absolutely huge. And I just watched it back again. We've got the analyst here from Luton sitting about 3 chairs away from us, and I've just watched it back again during Dan's little piece there, and he takes 4 steps back and stumbles backwards, goes to the ground, falls onto the floor, rolls over, lifts his head up and goes, and then drops back down again. And then immediately, I don't know whether he's done something to his leg and he's completely buckled underneath him or whatever, but it doesn't look great, does it?
No.
And we do wish him the very best, and it's a rather startling incident at the beginning of this championship playoff final, the biggest game of the lives of many of these players, in fact all of these players you would imagine, with the prize that is up for grabs. What do you do in this situation? You're a manager, it's gone against you, you've got to make a substitution, a key substitution really early in the game.
You normally try and plan everything, but no way on earth would you prepare for your centre-half just running back towards his own goal and then collapsing. So I hope it doesn't affect the rest of the players, unless it's in a positive way where they say, come on, we'll do it for Lockyer. My concern is with, and the manager's concern will be with that player.
Well, he has got his head in his hands, which is the best sign I think we've seen all day.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's a hamstring or knee injury. It's not his head, and it won't be life-threatening.
Well, Rhys Burke is on in his place. Tom Lockyer goes off the pitch, and as a result of that, there is a quick change for Luton Town. And Rhys Burke, who formerly of Bolton, Hull and West Ham, first experience of Wembley, won League One with Hull 2 years ago, comes into the heart of the defence, and we've played just over 12 minutes. Ball delivered straight into the box, and then it's just nudged behind there by Elijah Adebayo, and it goes behind and away for a corner kick over on the far side, and they were a little bit disorientated. Adebayo suggesting that maybe didn't get a touch.
That's the first bit of worry that we've seen, and he could have let that go, and he said he didn't hear anybody, but I think that the Lockyer thing has definitely affected him a little bit.
A corner on the far side, and it will be whipped in towards the near post, headed away by Adebayo, and out on the far touchline for a throw-in level with the edge of the penalty area for Coventry City. 0-0 the score, 13 gone. Coventry on the attack. We've had a lengthy delay because of the injury to Tom Lockyer, and we've had it confirmed by Dan Windle, our pitchside reporter, that he's currently receiving gas and air in the tunnel as they look to try and stabilise the situation pitchside. Ball is over on the right side. Coventry on the attack. Good work in that defensive position over on that far touchline by Doughty, who gets in front of Jamie Allen and shepherds the ball behind and away for a goal kick. Dean Ashton.
Not great, obviously, for the players that are on the pitch. Unsettling. Got to try and calm yourselves back into the mode. Quickly start to remember again the jobs that you've got to do.
That ball headed into the air, and it comes towards Morris. Morris tries to bicycle kick the ball into the box. It was a long ball forward from the goalkeeper Horvath, and it went right up to the edge of the box, and that was a mistake by Nafantian, who headed into the air, and with laser reactions, Carlton Morris tried to do a bicycle kick and catch out the goalkeeper, and almost caught out Coventry City, in very close to putting Luton Town in front. It was only narrowly wide of the left-hand upright.
See, for me, that's not long ball football. What he did, he pulled on the centre, the far centre half shoulder, went in there. It's a tactical move. They've hit a big diagonal.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, exactly. Just asking that questions of the centre backs, running towards his goalkeeper. Obviously, Wilson. Difficult when the atmosphere is this big. You know, we've just seen Adebayo saying he can't hear anything. Will the centre half there have heard his goalkeeper if he's coming out? Well, he's gone to just cushion it back. I don't think that's the right thing to do in early part of a game like this. That's where you've got to power that header away and then worry about it.
Luton have earned themselves another throw-in down on the right-hand side. Drame is going to take it on loan from Leeds United, playing as the right wing back in this Luton Town system. He's got Nakamba to his left-hand side, and Adebayo in the centre. Ronakin Panzu tries to get the cross in, it takes a deflection and goes behind, and it's another corner for Luton Town, and we know that already they've been pretty impressive from these moments. Saracens have won the Gallagher Premiership after a victory over Sale at Twickenham. Chelsea won the title in the WSL for a 4th season in a row earlier on today. Another double. Reading relegated Manchester United into the Champions League, but couldn't overturn Chelsea's advantage despite their victory away at Liverpool. And Bayern won the Bundesliga title on goal difference thanks to a late goal from Jamal Musiala. Here's the corner, deep towards the far post. It's high into the air, and out comes Ben Wilson and claims it, and then immediately smacks it upfield. And it's up towards Allen, who flicks it on. Harmer tries to get on the end of it, but there was a foul by Allen, and as a result of that, it's going to be a free kick to Luton Town as they try to get some advantage from the quick release.
It's a little bit bitty at the moment, isn't it? There's not.
You'd have to say Luton have maybe just shaded it, Ian.
Yeah, I think so. It's just, I don't think any team's settled down yet.
Coventry City finished in their highest league position in 17 years. They've been out of the Premier League for 22. They want to go back. And there's been so much water under the bridge since they were relegated under Gordon Strachan. And we know that playoffs are tense and tight. But Mark Robins did repeatedly tell his players to remain calm, play their game. And they are very good on the break. Fast and sharp. He scored more goals on fast breaks than anybody else in the Championship this season. Horvath, the goalkeeper for Luton Town, will place the ball down just right of the midfield line inside the Luton half of the field. He sends it long up towards the middle of the park, headed away by McNally, and it's down into the halfway line, and Bell will pick it up for Luton, who come forward once again. It's played out towards the left. It might run through to Adebayo here. Carlton Morris couldn't get the first pass after it was smashed in by Doughty, and then it's cleared away by McFadzean and out towards the far side and away for another Coventry City throw. There's no real flow to the game so far, but Coventry have been pretty good defensively. 1 goal conceded in the last 4 games. They stifled Middlesbrough and their league top scorer, but dealing with the physical threat that Luton possess is slightly different. Here they come again, on the ball, they're losing it quickly. Sheaf couldn't get it forward, squeeze it, looking for the likes of Kelly and Allen. They've worked it down the right-hand side now. Norton Cuffey picks it up, plays it infield. Doesn't quite reach Gyökeres, and then it's cleared by Nakamba, who sends it long, and then Adebayo just saw McFadzean cross his path as he went to chase into the left corner of the field. And then Wilson rather sensibly goes across and allows the ball to run across his body and go out of play for a goal kick away to our right. But it is a bit helter-skelter, a bit frenetic, and lacking Dean in a bit of control at present.
It is, but I wasn't coming here expecting to see 2 teams, trying to play out from the back and play their way all the way through and dominate possession. That isn't what these 2 teams are about. What I have seen is the way Luton so far, I know it's very early, but the way they've really contained Gyökeres. The 2 wide centre-backs, when the ball goes anywhere near him, squeeze really tightly in, and then the Camber's right in front of him. They're almost just sort of...
Well, they're boxing him in, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, of course. That's what football makes.
But there's an awful lot of skill in this. Both teams are really well coached, and I could see it from here. Sometimes you don't want someone who can outplay you all the time. This is a huge part of the game, and both teams do it really, really well.
Well, the Compensa, infield it goes. Helped on towards Clark, who shuffles it left, and now it's picked up by Bell. Bell moves forward at pace, lays it off to the left, and Doughty takes over. He's in the left wing position for Luton Town, attacking the goal away to our right. The ball's delivered high into the box, and it goes over every orange jersey and every sky blue one. It was kept in by Drame on this near side, then given away cheaply in the left full-back position by Doyle, who's won it back again, and now they look to move forward. Coventry into midfield they go. It's played into Kelly, couldn't get it out of his feet. Another Compensa trying to help it on to Adebayo. It's a scrap, it's a fight, and Coventry win that, and then they give the ball away, and Doyle's guilty again, into the centre towards Morris, who tries to get the volley in. Couldn't quite get a clean contact on it. It was brilliant defending that by Liam Kelly, who's been with this club right the way through all 4 divisions, and he needed every ounce of his awareness there to stop Carlton Morris from taking advantage of a really scrappy bit of play from Coventry.
For me, you've got to put the ball in the box. That's where these men like Dean Ashton earn their living, by scoring goals, and it's a joy to watch. I can't stand everybody playing back and giving it to centre halves all the time. Does my brain in. This is fantastic. It might not be beautiful, but it's effective.
That was the first thought. Where is Morris in the box? Adebayo was outside a bit. Where's Morris in the box? Good ball in, lovely little touch, couldn't keep it down.
Here's the corner, deep towards the far post, headed away this time by Doyle, who manages to get some distance on that. It comes out as far as Clark, who looks to jink his way down the right side, plays an intelligent looking pass. It's not going to quite reach its intended target in Reece Burke, and it goes behind and away for a goal kick out and away to our right hand side. But a lively start, and maybe a rudimentary start at times, but what's interesting is beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Ian?
Well, I'm finding the fact that the two slightly different shapes very, very interesting. You know, Luton, I believe, have got, yes, they've got one to mark and they're dealing with it, but they've been taught how to do that, and it's a little bit more difficult for Coventry having those two up the top, you know. So let's see how it pans out, but it's a tactical battle and I'm really enjoying it.
21 gone. You're listening to Talksport. Ball up towards Gyökeres. Couldn't quite get hold of it, and it spills into midfield, and before Kelly can get there, it's on the left hand side with Doughty, who smacks it long and high towards Morris, who wins the header, comes down the edge of the box. Ronakin Pansu just couldn't get anything behind it, and when he fell to him on the edge of the D, the Luton Town midfield player pulled the trigger, but he just didn't have enough power behind the strike. That was another good opportunity, Dean Ashton.
It certainly was. I mean, that's what we saw. Me and Ian were watching that ball. He played it in towards Colin Morris right about, and then the midfield players go and try and join in. He's just bobbled it. It's as simple as that. He's gone for the volley. He's hit it into the ground, taken all of the pace off the ball, and it was an easy save.
Big ball, a little bit of poise, plays it towards the left. Sheath comes infield. He looks to try and find Allen, far post. It's headed away by Bell, out towards the far side. Doughty helps Luton get it clear, and then it's charged back towards Allen, but it was a little bit too heavy, and it will run out of play in the left full-back position, and Luton will have a throw-in on the opposite side of the pitch to us. Luton lost to Crewe in the semi-finals in '97, waited 13 years to get back to the playoffs, and then lost to York in the conference playoff semi-finals. They lost to AFC Wimbledon in the conference playoff final in 2011, and lost to an offside goal against York at Wembley in the final a year later. And their two most recent playoff campaigns, 5 years ago and last year, were heartbreaking too. Are they going to turn the tide here at Wembley today in the sunshine? They've already lost Tom Lockyer, their captain, to an injury in the first 10 minutes of this game. Here's Adebayo over on the left hand side, using his strength and his power and his skill to set the ball up to Clark, edge of the air, comes into the box and smashes it home, and Luton Town are in front. Brilliant hold up play by the centre forward Adebayo, who took the ball down the left side, teed it up for Clark, and Clark came in, arriving at just the right time to smash the ball home, score his fourth goal of the season, and put Luton fans in dreamland. It's Coventry 0, Luton 1.
I think that is just outrageous centre-forward play. That's what it is from Adebayo. He just ran with his head down to make sure he got first, and then there's that bit of quality. Jinks it inside once, cuts back outside and makes Fazjean on the second time, and then he's got the awareness just to cut it back for Clark. Lovely first touch to set it up, and then he just strikes through it. I don't think he's really aiming for anywhere, just the middle of the goal, strikes right through it, too much pace. Brilliant centre-forward play in.
Well, you got to say that he knew that was happening. Fantastic bit of play there, but the ground he made up to join. Great first touch, wonderful left foot strike, and to me, it's about the two boxes today. It's the Coventry have got one up front and a box in midfield, and then Luton have got one sat in front of them, back three, and then a box up front, and that looks to me like it's going to be a big tell on what's going to happen today. Well done to Luton, fantastic goal.
Well, Jordan Clark missed a big chance in the semi-final, but he wasn't missing that one. It was a brilliant strike from Jordan Clark. Goal number 4 of the season, but they don't come much bigger than that.
Do you know what as well? It's about that desire. He could easily have just watched that and Adebayo done the work, and then he looks up and you're not there. He's not. He's thought, I've got to get there. I've got to make sure I'm one of the players. It might not come to me, but one of the players that then tries to disrupt that Coventry backline and frees up a play. It ends up at him. Then the composure. Like I said, he's got his head down and hit it. The goalkeeper's guessed wrong, and it's just flashed past him.
You're listening to Coventry 0, Luton 1 in the EFL Championship final on Talksport with Carling, the UK's #1 lager. 18 plus, please drink responsibly. And Jordan Clark, well known to Mark Robbins from their time together at Barnsley. And I know that Jordan Clark, who grew up in Barnsley, will have a keen eye on what happens on Monday's League One playoff final, which is also live for you on Talksport this Monday. Adrian Durham, Jim Proudfoot will be here for that one. Between now and then we've got so much more to bring you, including tomorrow's final day of the Premier League season. We've got the League Two final as well earlier in the day, and everything that you could possibly want in terms of football over the course of the next few weeks is live on Talksport. And just download our app. You can flick through the two stations and you'll get everything that you need. The Coventry fans look a little bit disappointed, look a little bit down. I think they know that Luton have started this game better, and 25 minutes in, they have the control in Holloway.
Yeah, I don't think Mark Robbins will be sending Clark a Christmas card at the moment. But no, there's an awful lot of the game left, and I mean, it's still very fascinating. But you have to congratulate Luton so far. They've got their game intact. They know where the threat is, and Mark Robbins' team aren't performing like they can do. So, you know, but there's still plenty of game left.
Luton have some happy memories of Wembley, the League Cup in 1988, the Steam boys, Andy Dibble beating Scunthorpe here in the EFL trophy. Their playoff dreams have been dashed more often than not, but they have the lead here. Gyökeres, though, for Coventry is attacking down the right-hand side. He's going to run out of room, trying to keep the ball in, and being chased over on that far side by Osho, and it goes out for a throw into Luton deep inside their own territory.
See, that's what I mean, Sam, that they've overhit that. There's a little bit of tension in that pass. Normally he'd be getting on that now, and they'd be streaming up the pitch to support him. So, you know, just got to settle down.
I mean, when you watch Luton, I mean, they're such an outfit in terms of the way they press you, the way they're so aggressive, the way they are direct, but in a proper way, not just lumping it. They are looking for one of the two centre forwards, and then the pressure for the counter press has been outstanding so far.
Here come Palmer and Coventry down the left channel, and working back to get the ball cleared was Trame, and it goes out for a throw-in level with the edge of the penalty area that Luton are defending. Coventry in possession, left wing is where Jake Bidwell tosses the ball in from. Harmer gets hold of it once again, goes back to the left-hand side where it's collected by Bidwell, and then all the way back to the halfway line, and McFadzean, who's having his first Wembley experience. It hasn't been a great Wembley experience so far. There's still a long way to go in this game. We've only played 28 minutes, and that ball's given away by Doyle, not for the first time. It's played infield to Bell, and now Luton Town can go on the hunt once again. They play the ball wide to the left, and Doughty's got it. He chips the ball right-footed high into the air, looking for Morris. The flick on goes towards Adebayo, then back to Morris. Great decision to come out and chase it by the right centre-half McNally, who put his body on the line and just about got enough on the ball to flick it up into the air, and Adebayo can flick in the rebound. It goes out for a goal kick. Another big chance.
Luton are such a handful. Everywhere they put the ball, they're trying to outnumber you for the seconds. I mean, when I played for Wimbledon all those years ago, they talked about naught possession, winning back the naught possession. So you send it long, and then it drops off a centre-half's head, and you've got to pick those bits up. And Luton are formidable at this. Yeah,
I mean, look, they've clearly worked on it, especially those two centre-forwards. How refreshing is it to see two centre-forwards work together and show what handful you can be when there's that real link-up play between the two of you. And Carlton Morris did brilliantly there, just to get something on the header. It just then drops to his mate. A little bit of link-up play. I've got to say the defending there from McNally and Doyle to squeeze in between and block that shot from Carlton Morris was outstanding. I think Doyle's actually injured himself in the process, but that was vital.
But McNally getting across to squeeze in and stop that shot from going on target was brilliant. And then came back off Doyle. I think McNally injured his mate as a result of trying to block that, which was absolutely vital. But it's Luton Town who lead by a goal to nil. After 23 minutes, the goal came from Clark. It was good work by Adebayo in the left wing position to set up Clark, and Clark smashing it home to give Luton, well, even more thoughts of the Premier League. Let's go down to the touchline. This pause in play. There's a bit of an injury, and both of these two sets of players are taking on a drink, and Dan Windle is down there alongside them.
Callum Doyle limping, Sam, but he's going to be okay to carry on for Coventry. Very interesting. Eddie Vivash, the assistant at Coventry, alongside Mark Robbins on the edge of their technical area in response to Clark's opener for Luton, screaming at the back three, back five. Can we squeeze 15, 20 yards further up the pitch? Can we get Adebayo and Carlton Morris away from our goal, further away from our goal? Luton pinning them in.
Looking at Mick Harford and John Steele watching from on high. They'll be pretty happy with the way things have gone so far. So will Rob Edwards, who's just patrolling inside his technical area down in front of us. Luton have shown a remarkable consistency over 2 seasons with not the biggest budget in the league. And since Rob Edwards took over, they have taken 50 points from 75 available. That is pretty impressive. Ball cleared upfield by Luton. But remember, Coventry only lost 1 of 19 coming into this. Ruddock Mpenzu out towards Morris, who feels he was wrestled to the floor there by Norton Cuffy, but the foul has gone against him as the two tangled in the box and went down. Carlton Morris, who as a kid grew up with Norwich City, you'll remember him, Dean Ashton. He was in the Norwich City team that won the FA Youth Cup, and he played down the middle, feeding off the crosses of the Murphy twins, Jacob and Josh, who have gone on to Cardiff and to Newcastle United.
Yeah, I'm sure it would have hurt him to have left Norwich and maybe not been given maybe the chances he deserves. So he's gone away, he's just worked at his game, and so far he's been excellent alongside his strike partner.
Absolutely. Here comes Gyökeres though, playing it to Bidwell. Bidwell on the left-hand side for Coventry City, who trail by a 1-0 in the playoff final for a place in the Premier League. Into Kelly and then back wide towards the left, and it's collected now by Bidwell and then all the way back to Doyle, and then into Kelly once again. Coventry in possession of the football, 32 on the clock. We're live on Talksport, and we are bringing you all the playoff finals this weekend. The England internationals are coming a little bit later, and the European finals, the big European finals, including the Europa League on Wednesday night. Sevilla against Roma. Jose Mourinho looking for another trophy, and then we've got the FA Cup final next Saturday. That'll be followed by the European Conference League final the following Wednesday night, live from Prague. Dean Ashton and I going to that one. We'll bring you inside the stadium. We know that many West Ham fans can't get tickets for it because it's a ridiculously small stadium, but we will do our very best to bring you all the atmosphere and the flavour from that trip from the minute we land. I think Dean's going, I think he's going tomorrow actually. He's going early out on the Monday, I think. We'll be doing our level best to bring you a flavour of that one before Adrian and the team go to Istanbul for another huge moment. Manchester City against Internazionale. Here is Drame for Luton Town, sending the ball square and out toward the left-hand side, and Bell has it for Luton. A yard or so in from the touchline. Doughty plays it on, looking for Clark. Clark thinks he was fouled. The ball goes out of play and it's away for a throw over on the far side.
I have to say, I'm so impressed with Luton. Without the ball, they are brilliant. I know that sounds weird.
Onto Adebayo, and then here's Pelly Ruddock Mpanzu out towards Drame, who's on the right side. Adebayo with a header. He gets above his marker and tries to glance it towards the far post, but it goes well wide of the goal in the end. But another example of the delivery and the chaos that causes inside the Coventry box whenever they get it. I mean, really, Coventry haven't had a sniff so far.
No, what I think is brilliant, the two centre forwards come off, they let the back three have it, and then they squeeze you and guide you where they want you to play it, so they outnumber you. It's really brilliant, honestly. They are fantastic.
How much of that is down to good coaching?
It's incredible coaching, absolutely incredible coaching. And not enough of that, because the way Man City play, and everybody tries to copy that. You know, it's all about the ball and the game's changing, and we got to have 15 million passes square and backwards. No, that's not football. There's lots of different ways to do it, and this is a wonderful opportunity for us to see a different side to it.
It's a version of football.
It's a version of football that somebody is sporting. They're winning year after year, but I don't want to see it. Everybody try it, because you're not good enough.
Ball is on the halfway line with Coventry City's Luke McNally, who's on loan from Burnley. Actually, he's been majorly important since he signed in January. They've only lost 2 of the 21 since his arrival. He's been a big influence on the team. If you look at the statistics before he arrived and then what happened afterwards, he definitely helped to shore up that defence. And they have conceded here. Harmer trying to get on the ball a little bit more. The playmaker for Coventry City, a key figure in their machine as they look to come forward. Jamie Allen lifts it into the air on halfway. Nakamba chasing around and putting pressure on the Coventry midfield. It's put out by Burke on the near side, and it's away for a throw-in. And Rob Edwards, the Luton Town manager, did have good foundations on which to build, left to him by Nathan Jones, but that shouldn't taint or diminish what he's achieved just to get Luton here. And he will hope that they can go the next step today. Gyökeres holding off Osho. Back to Gyökeres, looking to go on the outside of him again. Didn't really have the ability to go beyond him, and Osho's won the ball, but then given it back inexplicably, and Sheaf then plays it to Bidwell. So a little bit scrappy, and they're not quite in control of the football here, Coventry City, but they've been giving it back again. No, it's going to take a deflection and go out on this near side.
I mean, the reason Luton are able to get on top is because defensively they've earmarked the two best players, probably on the pitch really, Harmer and Gyökeres, and they've just nullified that ball into Gyökeres and the ball in behind. And Harmer now, he's having to go really deep to even just get the ball, and he's the one that normally is the one that's breaking and creating for Gyökeres.
Here he is trying to keep hold of the ball inside opposition territory. A rare foray into the Luton half, but Burke has cleared it away after good work from Drame. Brought down into the Luton half by Sheaf. Sheaf trying to charge forward. Burke with another strong challenge. It repels only as far as the centre circle, where Jamie Allen of Coventry works it wide towards the right. And here is Norton Cuffy over on the far side, looking to take the ball into the right wing position. He goes beyond the defender, and then Doughty gets back up and wins it back again. Norton Cuffy comes back at him. A real scrap on that far side. The whistle blows eventually. I don't think Norton Cuffy has heard it, nor has Clark. The free kick was given a couple of minutes ago, and those two walk away disappointed. But it's a proper battle, it's a proper scrap at the moment. It's Luton Town who are coming out on top. We've got 9 minutes before the conclusion of the first half. A lot is made of the set pieces, Dean, and how, you know, having a big physical side, Luton have sort of maximised that, but turning that into be able to a massive benefit without sort of fouling the opponent or causing the opponent grief is quite an art really, and choreographing those set pieces and maximising their usage is a major triumph for the coaching. Just a little bit of a miscommunication between Wilson and Bidwell yields a throw-in on this near side.
Well, if you've got that physicality and you do use it in the right way, what an advantage it can be.
Yeah.
Teams don't like to, teams would, and especially defensive, they'd love to just sit there and have all the play in front of them. When you've got big physical players up against you, and two of them especially bring the ball
in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and Morris trying to steer that goalwards. He just couldn't get enough on it in order to do that. Then Wilson's clearance high up the field is just again too long, and it goes all the way through to Horvath.
You've got to find your own way, and if you look at Brentford, they found their own way. They can go long, they can pass. You've got to be able to beat teams, and you know what Luton are showing us today, they know how to put you under massive pressure and make your
Compensu again trying to shoot, blocked this time by Bidwell.
Make your defensive players work, and they are overworking them at the moment.
Yeah, well, they're getting balls in the box with regularity, aren't they, Luton Town, and we haven't seen any of that from Coventry City. And they did have to sort of ride a bit of a storm at Middlesbrough. The goal that they scored came arguably against the run of play, and then when Middlesbrough were really pushing toward the end of that semi-final second leg, they ended up having some good chances on the break, but they haven't had a sniff so far in this game. Harmer on the near side, trying to wriggle away from Compensu, finds Allen trying to turn, and then Drame gets back and shuffles the ball out for a throw-in just on halfway to Coventry City. 1-0 Luton Town lead here. It's the first time that a town has ever played a City in a second-tier playoff.
You are a fountain of knowledge.
It's not true, actually. It's the first time in 30 years, but no one can remember the last time it happened.
I'm old enough to, mate.
Yeah, you can actually. It was Swindon Town back in the day. The last town to get promoted from the second-tier playoffs by that route, I think. Here is Bidwell on this near side, trying to toss the ball in. It's played up towards the edge of the Luton penalty area. Gyökeres trying to turn. Drame did well with Burke to repel the action, and again they just squeeze you, tighten around you, almost sort of get you in a bit of a noose, and then just thickening it up so there's no wriggle room, and then they're able to clear Luton. It comes back into the box towards Norton Cuffy. It's cleared away on the edge of the box by Luton, and Doughty has found Clark, and Clark, who's short but very good on the ball, brings it to halfway, plays it out towards the near side, and then it's with Drame And Penzu, and then back infield to Burke, who clips it forward over the halfway line, looking for Carlton Morris to chase. Adebayo's gone across there as well. It's away by Doyle. Penzu in towards Nakamba, who's going to get the second ball here if the referee gets out of the way, which he does. He did well, and he plays it down the left, and there's a chance for Doughty now to get beyond the defender. He drives into the box, takes a deflection, cleared up the line, comes off the defender and in. But was there a handball as it came back off Adebayo, who tried to block the attempted clearance off the line by the Coventry City defender, and it appeared to hit the hand of Adebayo and go into the net, and that will be ruled out because you can't put the ball into the net with your hand.
Yeah, I mean, no jury needed for that one. I mean, he couldn't have looked more guilty, could he, Adebayo? He knew straight away that it hit his elbow. But again, it just shows that real
threat. It was
a
bit Ben Wilson, wasn't it?
He did. He had that guilty look on his face. I think that the problem that Mark Robbins has got to sort out at half-time, you can't let one of the Luton centre-halves have time on the ball that they're doing at the moment. You've got Gyökeres up there. You've got to put him under pressure.
In terms of that, he's chosen Allen instead of maybe Godden. Do you second guess yourself now, or do you think, no, I've got to stick with what I thought originally and not panic?
No, you cannot let this happen. That left-sided centre-half or the right-sided centre-half has got time on the ball to deliver these balls forward. You can't do it.
As
he's going to have to change it, get two up front.
Norton Cuffy brings the ball away up towards the halfway line, and now Harmer can charge clear for Coventry City, looking to get it early in towards Gyökeres, but he was blocked off. It was too early, and there's no way he was going to get beyond Burke. He scurried out to the left side and collected the ball for Coventry. Now looking to attack once more, but lots of orange shirts have come back into position, and now it's at the feet of Liam Kelly. And they're looking to try and find a route through. Ben Sheaf might provide that. He drops into a number 10 position, but he's followed by Nakamba. Can't get it away. It's relentless defending this from Luton, but they played their way down the left-hand side. A chance to cross by Bibble. He eludes the goalkeeper, comes towards Harmer, and his volley's over the top of the crossbar. For Horvath there, didn't imagine that he wasn't going to claim the ball. I don't know if he got caught in the sun, but it went over his head, and he completely missed it. And coming in at the far post, Harmer managed to get a shot on goal. If he had have made it on target, that would have been 1-1.
Well, that's the first time we've seen Coventry style, isn't it? The passing, got it on the floor, got it moving. Wow, what an opportunity that was for that young man.
I love the way that Bidwell just stood that cross up. That's all he could really do. And then Harmer coming in at the back post. What a difficult skill that is. When it bounces high, almost the side volley, but when it's bounced high towards you, really difficult to keep that down. But that's a big chance.
Big chance for Coventry. There haven't been too many of those in the game. Luton have had quite a few, but now they've won the ball on halfway, and they're a little bit misshapen here. It's Sheaf in towards Gyökeres, edge of the area. Back to Sheaf once again. Played it left. Harmer inside the area. Tries to jink it onto his right foot because he wants to get the shot away. Can't do so. Back to Sheaf, and all the orange shirts are back again. Here is Norton Cuffy, and it's intercepted over on that far side, and Doughty is speeding away. And it's 3-on-3, and Luton coming forward down the left-hand side. Carlton Morris has got it now. He plays it against McNally, and I think it came back off Morris and goes out for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. We've definitely got contest here, haven't we?
We certainly have. It's getting really interesting. I really wanted Coventry to show us what they've got, and they're starting to do that now. Wow, what a game. Brilliant defending, wasn't it, in the end there?
In the end, but I just thought they were too slow. Far too. Once Harmer gets on the ball and jinks twice, and then Luton are back. You know, it's that moment where he's got to recognise either you shift it and you shoot, or you jink and then you've got to pass and release it. They let him off the hook, I thought, there.
Yeah, there's a couple of times where they've just maybe gone that one touch too many, and as a result of it, Luton have been very good at getting back behind the ball when that has been the case. Stifled the attack. Here is Adebayo on halfway. Harmer goes across and tries to nudge it away from him. And it goes out on this near touchline away for a Coventry City throw.
You don't see that very often either. The centre-half is stride for stride with Gyökeres. He normally leaves people, doesn't he? So that, you know, they have fantastic athletic ability. But come on, Coventry, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from them at the moment. They look like they've settled down.
Coventry have got good history at Wembley. They've won the EFL trophy here recently. They beat Exeter in the League 2 playoff final in 2018, and fans with older memories will recall the FA Cup final of 1987. Keith Houchin, Dave Bennett, John Sillett, George Curtis, Grizovic, who's here today, the big goalie, Brian Kilcline. You weren't born, were you, Dean?
I know those names. Big Brian Kilcline, mate. We won't want to argue with him.
Even now. They went behind early in that game as well, if I remember rightly, to a Clive Allen goal, and they had to fight back and win the final as a result.
Sam, that's very impressive, mate.
2 minutes on the clock, I think it was. It was his 49th goal of the season for Clive Allen that day. Here is Norton Cuffy playing the ball out towards the near side. Harmer trying to get on it, and because he didn't quite manage to find his pass, the referee, who had initially played the advantage, Michael Oliver, pulls it back for a free kick on the cusp of the centre circle. We've got 8 minutes of added time in this first half.
A bit more of that needed.
Ruin my toilet break at half-time now.
A bit more of that needed, though. Norton Cuffy, excellent physical play, aggressive, you know, just kept going and trying to... And you've got to try and match Luton in a sense in that physical way.
Harmer with the free kick, played towards the left. Doyle trying to come round the back, but Drame was equal to it. It's headed away and then back down the left-hand side for Sheaf, who guides it back to halfway. Harmer forward, Allen, quick steer into the centre, but didn't look up before he did that and ended up playing it straight to Rhys Berg. They're winning it back now in midfield at Coventry City. Harmer with a tackle which wasn't particularly friendly on Carlton Morris. The ball has spilt to the far side. The referees allowed it and said play on. And Luton look to build once again. 1-0 they lead, courtesy of Jordan Clark with his 4th goal of the season. We're into the 3rd of 8 minutes of added time as we look to see who will be going to the Premier League. Now Jokeres there, drawing a foul from Osho. And it's a dangerous area with which to give away a free kick at the end of the first 45 minutes, Dean Ashton.
It's the first time we've just seen a little bit of panic from a defender against Jokeres. They're just coming into the game, Coventry, just finishing the half well, and he's definitely got a fistful of his shirt, Osho, but Jokeres knows that, throws himself over. Sounds like I've been there.
Ball swung in towards the near post. It's flicked into the air. It's kept alive by McNally. It drops for Sheaf inside the box. He tees it up towards the far side. Norton Cuffy doesn't release it immediately. He holds on to the ball on the right edge of the Luton penalty area. Coventry on the attack with Harmer. Into Norton Cuffy once again. Back to Harmer, who left-footed delivers the ball deep inside Luton territory. And then the goalkeeper, Horvath, ends up colliding with his centre-half. It's Burt coming in on this near side, who's already had to come on and replace Lockyer.
Do you know,
in this first 45 minutes?
Do you know what? This isn't very nice, you know. One of the, I couldn't quite tell who it was. One of the Coventry players pushes the defender in towards the goalkeeper. I don't like that. It's not a nice thing to see. And then they collide because of it.
And they want a bit of treatment for Ivan Horvath, who did have to come on at the end of the Championship playoff final last year after an injury for Bryce Samba. And yeah, there was just a little thrust from McFadzean on Burke, which meant that he tumbled into the goalkeeper. I'm not entirely sure that
that could have been a lot worse.
It's going to be as bad as maybe it looks initially. I think the Luton Town goalkeeper might also be quite pleased just to take a little bit of respite, because actually for the last sort of 7 or 8 minutes for the first time, Coventry have really come into the game.
They've been excellent, and I mean the game has stretched a little bit. I think that does help Coventry. Hamer has got onto the ball. Jokeres as well has just started to get into the game. You've got to be, you know, Ray talked about it before the game, can you be brave in these big games? And it's almost like Coventry finally have thought, actually, we can't let this just continue where we're being bullied. We've got to be a little bit braver, a bit more progressive in our play, and it's just opened the game up.
Well, I think the biggest thing for me, Luton, their back three have got out and got out and got out, and they're playing so high. So, you know, can they continue to do that? You give that Coventry midfield for some space, you're in trouble.
Ronikin Pansu has picked the ball up inside Coventry territory, then nudged it out of play and away for a throw-in down in front of us away to our left. You're listening to the EFL Championship Playoff live on Talksport with Coventry trailing by 1-0 to Luton, with Carling, the UK's #1 lager, 18 plus, please drink responsibly. After us, Alex Crook's got the boot room alongside Darren Ambrose and Adebayo Akinfenwa. He knows what it's like to be involved in the playoffs. And over from 7 o'clock on Talksport 2, you can hear coverage of the undercard fights ahead of Lawrence Okoli versus Chris Billham-Smith from the Vitality Stadium in Bournemouth. The World Cruiserweight title, the WBO World Cruiserweight title, is up for grabs tonight. It's a fight you can hear live and exclusively on Talksport tonight. Ball cleared by Horvath, flicked on by Burke on halfway, helped forward by Morris, who nudges it down towards Adebayo. It's then kicked long down the left, and then Osho is being chased by Gyökeres into the right fullback position. Kelly picks it up for Coventry inside Luton territory. There's a bit more about Coventry the longer the game has gone on. 51 on the clock, ball out on the right hand side, collected now by Norton Cuffy, who plays it against the fullback Doughty. It goes out for a throw-in the right wing position as Coventry look at it, ready to launch another late attack in the game. We've played 51 minutes of this first half. Because of the injury to Lockyer, there is a sizable delay. And Coventry haven't made the most of that, but then Luton have given it away, and Doyle has pinched it halfway inside opposition territory. Gordle on the ball, ended up giving it away to Marvellous Nakamba, who's on loan from Aston Villa, and the ball is then out of play over on the far side.
What a great name, Marvellous Nakamba.
It's not a great name, it's marvellous.
What a marvellous name. Wow. They've got some great loans, haven't they? You know,
they've done very well in the loan market, haven't they? Yeah, you've got Callum Doyle on loan from Manchester City, Luke McNally on loan from Burnley, Norton Cuffy's on loan from Arsenal. I mean, it is great, but it does mean that if they are to go into the Premier League, then Coventry will have to maybe upgrade their team. And Luton, with Nakamba, who's on loan, and one or two others as well, they might have to think about dipping into the market should they get promoted. That's the challenge that was facing Nottingham Forest when they went up at the end of last season. Here is Sheaf, who tried to play the ball intelligently down the left channel looking for Allen, but he didn't quite get the run that he wanted. Luton have got the run that they want from Adebayo on this near side, and he's moved towards the edge of the penalty area, attacking the goal away to our right. He's gone past Doyle, ran into him, then went down looking for a penalty. The referee was immediate in his dismissal of that, and it goes up to Gyökeres, who was dragged to the floor on the halfway line. The referee didn't give a foul for that either. How? And Marvellous Nakamba has picked it up and turned the ball over once again. I'm not quite sure, actually.
He had his arm around his neck
and dragged him to the floor.
I thought he did brilliantly there, Gyökeres, just sort of cushioned it with the head, tried to then control it.
Here comes Doughty, moving towards the Coventry penalty area. The ball is caught under the feet of Morris. They're scrapping for it in the muck and nettles of the midfield area. It's clipped long up towards Gyökeres, who's trying to isolate Burke. Burke does brilliantly. Gets his body between the big Swede and where he wants the ball to go, and nudged it back to Horvath, the road to our left-hand side.
That's the right-sided centre-half ending up in the centre. Brilliant from the two of them, marking him. He's a handful, isn't he? Good gracious me, Gyökeres is a handful.
Yeah, he certainly is. Harmer has been sent long down the right side. Bell's got to cross and try to shuffle him out of play. It's been kept in over on the far side by Harmer, who's trying to twist and turn in the right-wing position. Needs a little bit of help here. And Kelly's come up to try and support him, but they found a ball on the edge of the box for Allen. It's miscontrolled. Burke manages to come across and charge it towards the edge of the box, and it will get cleared by Bell up towards Carlton Morris, who holds on to it brilliantly under pressure, and almost got away actually from Doyle. When he didn't, he got crunched by Sheaf. It's going to be a free kick just short of the halfway line. Oh, that is the half-time whistle, and this brilliant first half has been brought to a close. It's been a very different first 45 minutes to maybe what you might usually see at this time on a Saturday evening, but what an evening it's been so far for Luton Town. Well choreographed, well organised, and on top for large parts of that first 45 minutes. Coventry sneaking back into it towards the end. Now, less than a decade ago they were playing in the Conference, Luton, but they're now 45 minutes away from a return to the Premier League thanks to Jordan Clark's goal. Coventry 0, Luton 1.
Wow, what a breathless first 45. Absolutely thrilling stuff on the Wembley turf. All started really with some bad news for Luton there. Talismanic captain Tom Lockyer stretched it off. I did notice he had some strapping. I thought he might have caught his studs in the turf. Let's just hope that he is okay in terms of long term. But he had to go off, and that's a big loss for any side. The skipper's gone. He scooped the awards at the Player of the Year night the other night for Luton, and all the players absolutely adore him. Their big man gone. How well they responded. Jordan Clark, I saw him play for Accrington 3 years ago, and I thought, you know what? He has got a chance to play at the higher level, and there he is. He scored the goal that at this moment in time may well take Luton Town to the Premier League. But Dean Ashton, what a clash of styles we're seeing, and for the first 40 minutes Coventry didn't even turn up. They didn't know how to handle Luton, did they?
No, they didn't. They were well on top, Luton. They were so not just physical, intelligently physical in the way that they played. They utilised the two forwards who I thought were both outstanding early on, constantly winning the flicks, constantly then supporting each other. Then you can get the midfield players up once those players have got hold of it. The amount of times Adebayo, that ball goes up to him, he doesn't flick it on, he gets up, backs in and chests it down from such a long pass was outstanding, and they just didn't really have that answer. It took probably till the last 10 minutes for Coventry to find a way to get into the game.
Indeed, and I've got to say Adebayo's work for the goal, Ian Holloway, was sensational out on the left-hand side. He has twisted and turned the Coventry defender. He doesn't know what day of the week it is, and then puts the ball into Clark, who finishes superbly. It's actually a brilliant Luton goal, isn't it?
It is a fantastic Luton goal, and you know what annoys me is it's not all short passes in this game. You know, I remember watching Liverpool a few years ago, and they played whatever ball was right, and when you got a centre forward who's got that skill, he doesn't get the credit for it. He really doesn't. He has got an immense skill. Not only did he get there and hold the ball up, but he also then beat the fella and had enough nous to then roll the right pace on the pass back to his midfield player, who even bothered to get there. A lot of people wouldn't have gone because it looked like a lost cause. So fantastic. And I had a feeling that this was a huge part of their success, backing each other up and getting there. But what a great strike. One touch, bang, top corner. What can you say about it? It's fantastic.
Yeah. Keeper's out to go, and he's gone completely the wrong way, and it's ended up in the back of the net. So Luton lead 1-0. Let's have that debate then about the style of play, because from where I'm looking, you're saying they're long diagonal passes. For me, it's a huge diagonal, sometimes from their own half, aerial ball into the box, and the two big strikers are fighting for the ball. It is long ball, fight ball, let's pick up the seconds. Now, there's nothing, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but let's call it what it is. And that isn't passing football, and I wonder whether that will transfer into the Premier League.
Well, I took my team, and what did? We had disguised long passes at Blackpool. We'd work it, get it one side. If we couldn't get in, we'd get it and do a big long diagonal switch. There's nothing wrong with that, providing you get.
Yeah, but it's Charlie Adam doing it, and he can put it on a sixpence.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. How effective are Luton? I wouldn't want to play against them, mate. I'm telling you. I'm looking at that as a coach, thinking, God, it must be awful to play against them. They don't give you any time, and they work the players that you don't want being worked all the time, which is your defence. And at the moment, we are seeing, even in the Premier League, going down into the Championship, far too many teams trying to muck and mess about with the ball, if I put it in my Bristolian way, and lose the ball on the edge of their box and concede goals. What are we doing? That's rubbish. Do me a favour, put the ball where you need it, and as long as you can coach that and get bodies up behind it, you can win that second ball, and that's what it's about. And do you know what? Playing against it is almost impossible at times.
I think as well, what you've got to give credit to as the forward players is that when that ball is played forward and you talk about it being a fight ball, as a forward there, the odd time it's just wherever it hits you, but you watch, they're trying to head it into an area. There's almost an art to being able to be as physical as you are against a defender, and then glancing the header into the area that's needed, or glancing it to a mate, or nodding it down for a midfield player,
or popping it on your chest. How many times have they done that?
There is an art to that. We've lost it over the years. It has become very different, the game. When I was playing, it was so much of that. It was up, glance, where's your centre forward, where's the midfield player. Now it doesn't look as pretty, but it can be very, very useful. And also, I just thought Luton was so good at recognising what the strengths are of Coventry. You can't let it go into Gyökeres's feet. You can't let him run in behind, and you can't let Harmer have as much time as he wants, and they've just nullified that brilliantly just until the end.
In the end, my centre halves weren't allowed to hit those long balls. They stopped my players in midfield getting and hitting those long balls because they knew we were getting ready for that. We were overloading areas, and there's not enough said about how brilliant Luton are at overloading areas. That's what football's about. You know, you've got to find your way to do it.
Well, Mark Robins, by the way, very quickly, I know they came into it at the end of the half, Coventry City, but Mark Robins stomped down the tunnel at half-time, not happy. I don't know if we're going to see changes of personnel. I think we'll see a change in attitude, at least from Coventry.
Well, I think he'll have recognised that Luton were to most of the second balls quicker. They were more physical, which, you know, you want from your side. So it's the basics of any game to earn the right to be able to play your way. There has to be winning your own duels, being first to a ball that's knocked down, being aggressive. Coventry weren't that early on. They were a little bit sort of caught in the occasion, very slow to get going. I think that's what will have really frustrated him.
Well, it started with me when Luton were linked arms and stood there staring at me. It was a little bit like the All Blacks, wasn't it? It was a little bit intimidating when the cameras went to their face, as we could see it on our monitors there. Good gracious me, you know you're in it. Now is where Mark will earn his money. He's good enough to go, come on, and he'll find what they need to do in this second half.
Brilliant first half here at Wembley, live on Talksport. There's a special boot room at 7 tonight, straight after we're finished. Alex Crook joined by ex-pros Darren Ambrose and Bayo Akinfenwa, and they've got a very special guest on the show. The Newcastle manager Eddie Howe will be joining them, fresh from Newcastle making Champions League and on the eve of their final game of the season tomorrow. Eddie Howe on the boot room from 7 tonight on Talksport. Chelsea won the Women's Super League. We'll hear from Emma Hayes shortly. Bayern Munich in the last minute with a goal from Jamal Musiala won the Bundesliga title when Dortmund had it in their hand, and Saracens have won their 6th title at Twickenham in a thriller against Sale, which we brought you live on Talksport 2. We will hear from Emma Hayes, the Chelsea manager, very shortly on Talksport. But here at Wembley, Championship playoff final, Luton lead by 1-0 as it stands. They'll be in the Premier League next season.
EFL Live on Talksport with Carling. We're made by our mates. 18 plus, please drink responsibly. Want round-the-clock free football news? Get the Talksport Edge. Live scores and big-name interviews? Get the Talksport Edge. From transfer fees to injuries? Get the Talksport Edge. There's even live text commentaries. It's all on Talksport Edge. Talksport Edge is the free football fan app that keeps you a giant step ahead of your mates. Get the ultimate edge on everything football, first, fast, and for free. Talksport Edge. Download it from the App Store now. iOS 13 and above only. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Selections 90 minutes only. All returns include stake. BeGambleAware.org.
Are you tired of wearing shirts that don't look good untucked? Discover the shirts GQ called Perfection at Untuck It. Untuck It shirts were designed to be worn untucked. They have that just right length and more than 50 fits for guys of all shapes and sizes. Today, there are Untuck It stores across America, and now we're open in the UK. Visit us at Westfield, London, or online at untuckit.co.uk. Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked.
Frank's fence is frankly embarrassing. He's trying to sell his house, but his fence is an abomination. If only he knew about Ronseal Fence Life Plus. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It lasts up to 5 years. Take note, new phone. Goes on smooth, rough or damp wood, and it's rainproof in 1 hour. Perfect for the British weather. But he'll keep putting the fence off, all because he expects things in life to let him down. Anti-kink hose pipes, MOTs, umbrellas. Sir Frank, just remember, we won't let you down. Ronseal does exactly what it says on the tin.
I've just sold the car, and it only took me 30 seconds to get a quote from We Buy Any Car.
You know what that means? We're getting a bigger car.
Just sold my car to We Buy Any Car.
Hey.
Just sold my car to We Buy Any Car. Just sold my car to We Buy Any Car.
To find out how much your car's worth in 30 seconds, enter your reg number now at WeBuyAnyCar.com. Admin fee may apply. For more information, visit WeBuyAnyCar.com/info.
Win up to £25,000 each week with Racing Super Series from Coral. Play for free. Just pick one horse to place in 7 races for your chance to win up to £25,000. Coral, get closer to the action. 18+ UK. Max 1 online and 1 retail entry per customer per game. Predict 1 horse to place in each selected race for a share of cash prize pot. Restrictions, racing rules and T's and C's apply. Take time to think.
From the centre of the football universe.
What a hit!
The Championship Playoff Final. Live on Talksport.
We can confirm that Lawrence Okoli will defend his WBO Cruiserweight World title against Chris Billum-Smith in Bournemouth at the Vitality Stadium, the home of AFC Bournemouth.
And still, WBO Cruiserweight Champion of the World, Lawrence Okoli.
One of those fighters that talks about, and one of the fighters that goes out and makes it happen.
Bournemouth, your own Chris Billum.
Two friends.
I like Chris, but we have to do what we have to do.
Two former gym mates.
I like Lawrence, he's a funny guy. He's got someone I want. That's what it is, it's business.
Now pitted against each other as enemies.
Live on Talksport, your home of boxing.
Well, Talksport certainly is your home of boxing. Fight Night Live tonight. Lawrence Okoli against Chris Billum-Smith. Adam Cattrall will be in Bournemouth hosting our coverage of that for the WBO Cruiserweight Championship. And that is from 9 on Talksport. The undercard from 7 on Talksport 2 this evening. Drive with Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent did their teams of the season on Friday's show. Andy had no Arsenal players in his 11. Darren had no Harry Kane, but he did have Martinelli over Grealish and Rashford. Incomprehensible, really. Andy and Darren back with Drive from 4 on Tuesday. Final day of the Premier League season covered properly on Talksport. That's from 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. I'll be heading to Everton's game against Bournemouth. Could be crucial, will be crucial. Whatever happens, a win and they are safe, and they'll send Leeds and Leicester down. Anything else, and one of the other two could well be surviving. Big day in the WSL. It was the final day of the season. Chelsea went to Reading. Defeat for Reading meant they were down. Chelsea needed a win to secure the WSL title, and they got it. 3-0 it finished. Sam Kerr scored twice, Gura Wrighton got the other, and winning the title means that Chelsea boss Emma Hayes has now won 6 WSL championships and 5 League and Cup doubles. Incredible. She spoke afterwards to Talksport Charlotte Richardson.
Emma, it was a record-breaking points tally. Year after year winning the English Women's Super League. It's dominance, but it's those fine margins and those fine details. What would you pinpoint the success that's got you over the line this season to that record-breaking points tally?
I don't know if there is a single answer to it, but I believe in squad and I believe in every player being prepared. I think there are just so many different matches, and we have to play so many more matches with even more of our players being internationals. And coming back after international camps can be very, very difficult, but having such, I think, variety of players and depth has given us the chance to keep winning, sometimes when there's a massive games accumulation. But character, it's the character of the humans, of the people in the dressing room that has put us in this place. And I said it to at the end, I know they can hate me, some of them, throughout the year because they don't get to play and they want to cut my head. But as I said to them, I'm a human being and I have to make the tough decision to pick a team, and it's so hard because every single one of them is good enough to start. And because you're Chelsea, there are parts of the season where you do make it look easy, but it hasn't been. It's easy to forget that on a personal level for you this year, there's been challenges and obstacles. Does that amplify the sense of pride when you get to enjoy this amazing afternoon? Listen, I don't even think I fully recovered from a hysterectomy. I came back to work within 7 weeks and I'm still numb in certain areas of my body because I haven't had the chance to heal. But that's, I hate to say it, it's what women do. We get up, we go on, and but I've got such an amazing group of leaders, and not just on the pitch but off the pitch. My staff have been, that, as far as I'm concerned, that trophy's for them.
Well, big congratulations to Emma Hayes and Chelsea, champions of the WSL Yet again, they seem to be unstoppable. But Man United are getting better. Let's see what they do next season. Spurs and Villa made big signings, maybe add to those over the close season as well. The results from the WSL: Arsenal 0, Villa 2, Brighton 0, Leicester 1, Liverpool 0, Man United 1, Man City 3, Everton 2, Reading 0, Chelsea 3, Chelsea champions and Reading relegated, West Ham 2, Spurs 2. Red Bulls Max Verstappen on pole from Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso from Monaco. Tomorrow Bayern Munich won an 11th consecutive Bundesliga as Dortmund did an Arsenal, and Celtic beat Aberdeen 5-0 in the Scottish Championship. Hearts and Hibs drew 1 apiece. Hearts with 10 men finished 4th. It means if Inverness, Caledonia and Thistle win the Scottish Cup next week, Hibs will not be in Europe. Here at Wembley, it's been a brilliant first half. Let's see if the second half can match it. It's Luton to our left, Coventry to our right. The fans have absolutely loved it. The noise and the atmosphere have been incredible. Two teams are back out. Luton lead by a goal to 0. Second half, live on Talksport with Ian Holloway, Dean Ashton, and first, Sam Matface.
Yep, and they've made a change at the start of the second half. Coventry City, Jamie Allen's come off and on has come Matt Godden. More details on that after we've got an update on the health of Tom Lockyer from Dan Windle.
Reports out of the Luton dressing room in the last few minutes, Sam. Tom Lockyer awake, conscious and on his way to hospital after collapsing during the first half here at Wembley. When we get more on his status, we'll bring it to you here on Talksport.
Well, best wishes to him, and we'll keep you updated and abreast of that story. He went down in the first 10 minutes of the match with no one around him, and as a result of that was immediately substituted and had to be stretchered off. There was a lengthy delay, and there were concerns for him. A yellow card in the first few seconds of the second 45 goes for a Coventry City defender, and it's going to be a free kick to Luton really early in the start of this second 45. I'll talk to the two gentlemen to my left in just a second about Matt Godden's arrival. He has got a terrific shot conversion record this season for Coventry City, and they were lacking a little bit of punch up front in that first 45 minutes. I'll go through the two lineups for you in just a second, but first of all, let's get this free kick out of the way with Doughty placing the ball down. Orange shirt, navy shorts, orange, navy and white socks, attacking the goal away to our left. Luton, they swing the ball in towards the middle of the penalty area. It's headed away by McNally, comes out as far as Nakamba, who nudges it in towards the edge of the penalty area. Harmer tries to get it further clear, and then Kelly clears it up towards Jokeres, who's going to try and hold on to it on the halfway line. So the two teams, Coventry with Wilson in goal, McNally, McFadden and Doyle, the back three. The wing-backs, Norton, Cuffy and Bidwell, Kelly, Sheaf and Harmer in midfield, with Jokeres now joined with Matt Godden up top. And he's the target of a ball played forward by Kelly, doesn't quite reach him. Luton have got Horvath in goal, Osho, Burke and Bell as the back three. And here comes Carlton Morris over the top of the defence, into the left channel, stands it up, gets it back to Adebayo, who's being pressured from behind by Kelly, who just managed to put him off, but he was offside anyway. So the Luton lineup: Horvath in goal, Osho, Burke and Bell, Drame, Ruddock and Panzu, Nakamba, Clark and Doughty, Adebayo and Morris up top. Let's get the thoughts of Ian Holloway. What do you think that change does to Coventry City?
Well, it stops the service to the centre forwards of Luton, and I think that was a big thing. Maybe Mark will look at, and then he got his foot in there.
Well, there's a little bit of a casual back pass there, played by Bell towards his goalkeeper, and as Horvath tried to get it onto his left foot to clear, he was shut down by Harmer. Almost a dangerous spillage.
Yeah, that's also to attack with it, but it's also to stop. The biggest problem that they had was the opposite centre half was smacking it on a big diagonal, so now you leave the middle one with it, they can't hit that pass. So now I'm expecting Coventry to show us what they can do.
Norton Cuffy trying to bring the ball out on this right-hand side, and the chase is on. Doughty immediately puts the squeeze on, but they get the ball clear. It's up towards Harmer halfway. Sheaf takes over now, runs down the right side, nudges it on to Godden. Godden moves towards the edge of the penalty area, plays it back to Sheaf. There's a bit of space here for Kelly. Out wide is Doyle. Doyle gets hold of it now in the left wing position for Coventry, coming forward away to our right, shooting towards their fans behind the goal. That Horvath is defending. It's swung in by Doyle, takes a deflection, goes behind, and it's a corner, an early corner at the start of the second half for Coventry City, Dean Ashton?
I think as well, someone who'll be delighted is Gyökeres. I think it just takes the pressure off him playing against three of the centre-backs on his own. Godden up there with him. It'll now, put that little bit of doubt in the three centre-backs' minds. Who's picking up who? Also, Harmer as well now. Maybe that little freer role as a 10.
Here is the corner, whipped in towards the near post. It's not a great delivery. Godden helps it on. It runs loose inside the box and goes out eventually for a goal kick after I think it was Kelly who put a bit of pressure on. It goes behind anyway and it's away for a goal kick. The bad news is for Coventry City that they are one of only two teams in the Championship this season who failed to win after conceding the first goal. That statistic, when it's in the back of your mind, does it affect you, or do you not really know things like that when you're on the pitch?
You don't normally think of things like that, but they're showing me an awful lot of character, and I'm not worried about that. This could be a great first time to do it, wouldn't it?
And the ball's just spilt towards the edge of the 6-yard box after a collision involving the goalkeeper Horvath and Gyökeres. I mentioned he managed to clear it, Luton Town, but Coventry have come forward again. Sheaf moving towards the midpoint of the Luton half. It's played out wide towards the right-hand side. Collected now by Sheaf, who just played it too far in front of Norton Cuffy, and it goes away for a...
Don't argue, keep encouraging each other. These things happen.
Luton Town have made a statement in the last few minutes when they say that we are able to report that after collapsing on the pitch, Tom Lockyer has been taken to hospital for further tests. He's responsive and talking to his family, who are with him. We are with you, Locks. Does seem quite a worrying incident, doesn't it?
It didn't look good, did it? And we really, really wish him well. I mean, you could tell by Mark Robbins' demeanour that he was going to give them a rocket at half-time. It's as simple as that. They've come out, the intensity's totally different.
Coventry on the attack again. The ball drops inside the Luton half of the field. Sheaf it is who clips it down the right side. Norton Cuffy tries to get in behind Bell. Bell allows it to go out of play, and it's away for a goal kick away to our right. The whole pitch now in shade as it gets later on in the evening here. It's absolutely jam-packed. 36,000 Coventry supporters, and Luton Town on the other end selling both their allocations out for this playoff final. There were special events planned all over Coventry. The Sky Blue Tavern did breakfast for those travelling to the game this morning. For those that couldn't get to the game, they have it on. Dillon's Brewery next to the stadium was giving away a free can of Sky Blue Army Lager to 500 lucky customers. I thought it was going to be party time in Coventry today. As of yet, there hasn't been too much to shout about for their team. 51 on the clock. They win a foul on this near side. Doughty commits that foul. And it goes back to McAnally, who was booked in the first action of this second half. It goes down into the right wing position, but Bell gets across and stops Harmer from getting on the ball. He's under a bit of pressure from Harmer. He protects it well, takes it towards the corner flag, digs it out, but only as far as Norton Cuffy, who tries to get it on to Sheaf. It'll be picked up by Kelly here. Kelly pushes it on. Gyökeres is trying to get there. He does get there. Kelly dives in. It's all happening on the edge of the box here. Harmer to Kelly, edge of the area, right-footed shot over the top of the crossbar. And Liam Kelly, who hasn't scored this season, in fact hasn't scored since 2020, was a little bit ambitious there, Dean Ashton.
Yeah, you could tell the guilt on his face as he turned round, and every single one of his teammates gave him a stare and a shout as if to say, what are you doing, when you've got better players in and around that area. Also, he was really straight to it and just skied it over the crossbar.
I will put my neck on the line. I don't think this game is going to end 1-0. Right? I'm not saying who's going to score. I would be flabbergasted if it stays how it is.
They do know each other so well since Mark Robbins has been reappointed as the manager of Coventry in March 2017. His team has played Luton 10 times, 2 more times than any other team they've played in that time. And there's a bit of an issue here for Luton because Reece Burke has had a head collision over on the far side. He's gone down needing treatment. And it's one of his teammates who I think he bumped into. Osho, who's over there as well, who's gone down as a result of that. Another stretcher is coming out. They can't afford to lose another central defender here. Osho's getting back to his feet now. And Burke is the one that's still down. And... a couple of substitutes warming up down in front of us, away to our left-hand side for Luton Town. Have just been given a bit of a sign.
Do you think Luton have got enough staff out there, by the way?
Yeah, good gracious me, yeah.
I got into a lift earlier on today in the hotel across the road where Luton is staying, and they all piled in next to me. There is quite a few of them, isn't there?
That's right. Look at them.
And they're all sort of, most of them are quite fit young men as well, aren't they?
There's 9 down there, as I've just counted. This is so unfortunate, isn't it?
Well, Burke is back up on his feet again, and he is going out towards the far side just to get checked out by the medical staff. He's back on once more. They've had experience, Luton, of playing playoff finals in non-league, but this is their first experience of an EFL playoff final. They finished 3rd in the regular season, Coventry 5th. The side finishing 3rd has failed to win promotion in 5 of the last 8 championship playoff finals they've competed in. The others are Norwich, Fulham and Brentford. Here is Gyökeres up towards the edge of the area. Couldn't quite squeeze it to Godden. It's half cleared. And then won by Peli Rodokempanzu. Then Grant, they gave it back to Coventry deep inside their own half. And Luton at the moment can't get outside their own half of the field. Good work by Gyökeres to get to the edge of the penalty area. Across comes Osho and manages to clear. And Luton just trying to get it away. They've just slightly changed how they're operating. Coventry City at the latter part of the first half, the beginning of this second 45, they've grown into the match and they are now pushing forward with Harmer over the halfway, right of the centre circle, onto Norton Cuffy, gets into a right wing position, he crosses low and in towards the near post, doesn't quite reach Godden, and the ball's smuggled out by the Luton defence, and Godden runs over in towards the first sort of few areas of the stadium where the fans are populated, and start screaming at the supporters to get behind their team as they go late into the game.
We have got a serious game on our hands here, chaps.
Corner to be taken on this near side, and it's whipped in by Bidwell deep towards the far post, and Natalie was coming in underneath it, didn't get a clean header on the ball, and it goes behind and away for a goal kick. But that was a delicious delivery, and there haven't been too many of those from Coventry actually, Dean. When they've been in set piece positions, they've wasted those.
Yeah, that was a decent delivery, and it was just unfortunate actually for McNally that there was a tiny touch from, I don't know whether it was a defender or his own teammate. He might have just touched it. It was the defender, just got a glance, and it then just pinged off the top of his head, and the chance was gone. But it's been such a better start to this half anyway for Coventry.
Good management. He saw what was wrong and changed it.
Well, he's often referred to as the man that saved Fergie's job at United, with a goal against Nottingham Forest that stopped another trophy this season for the great man early in his reign. And he's much more than that. Maybe not always the most charismatic in front of camera, Mark Robbins, but a thoughtful, clever manager, very clear with his instructions, direct with his players. He knows what it's like to play here. He came off the bench in the 1990 FA Cup final replay, which they won. Won a playoff final here as a playoff player with Leicester City, and now on the verge of doing something special with Coventry City if they can claw back this deficit and make a real contest of this tie. He's just signed a new 4-year contract as well, 2027, which was a good sort of show of the faith that the new executive chairman Doug King has in him. And boy, should they have faith in him after what he's done for them across 2 spells. Ball sent long down the left-hand side by Coventry, won by Burke, picked up by Kelly, given back to Burke, who's just over halfway for Luton Town, on the right side by the touchline. He scoops it forward, Adebayo making a nuisance of himself. Kicked and cleared away, up towards halfway. Helped on that left-hand side, doesn't quite find Gyökeres, and then Harmer trying to win it. It goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, Horvath, who kicks clear high into the evening sky. A flick on by McFadzean, goes through to Doyle, but it's very quick to get back to a Luton body. And here's Rodokempanzu trying to play it through the legs of Sheaf, maybe a little bit too ambitious, but he was looking for Jordan Clark, who was just left of centre. And now Coventry have got it back again. Up to halfway they go. Harmer moves forward, immediately tries to release the ball down the right channel, but he never got that right, did he?
No, he saw the run of Gyökeres, great run again, and just take your time, you're playing well, get back in it. It's just the occasion again, and he's trying to rush it. Great run, wrong timing.
Desperation.
If you were Luton manager, would you be thinking about making changes?
Not at the moment, no. I just encourage them to do what we did in the first half, give them less time.
Rob Edwards just screaming at his team down in front of us, trying to dish out a few instructions.
But the problem is Luton can't get out like they did in the first half and put you under the pressure that they wanted you to. They're trapped in. So this is a game of chess now. It's wonderful. Can't wait to see.
We haven't seen one of those diagonals in this second half, which you talked about with me at half time, Ian, in terms of stopping that. But also, I don't know whether it's Osho and Burke have swapped. So Burke was in the middle in that first half, and Osho's gone through the middle now. So I think maybe that's that protection, that added bit of pace right through the middle. Now there's two of them.
Yeah, Osho's started off the game as the right centre-half, has gone into become the centre of the three at the back, and they've won another set-piece, Luton, this time on the near side, midway inside Coventry territory, and a chance really for the first time in this second half of the game to try and construct something with Doughty on this near touchline. Alfie Doughty, who's got great delivery, scored at the Stadium of Light in March, but he is a provider more than anything else. 6 assists in the Championship season this campaign. Places the ball down. He's got 4 or 5 to aim at. It's deep towards the far post. Morris is underneath it, heads it down, hits the defender and goes away, but there was a pull on the shirt on the way through, so it's going to be a free kick just inside the 6-yard box.
Decent delivery.
It's funny, you're really up against it. You're down on points if this was a boxing match. You're down on points if you're Coventry, and you're also against a big puncher, because they're brilliant at set pieces, aren't they? But they dealt with that quite well.
I think that they look calm, though. I think the instructions that were given at half-time, Coventry, has given them a bit of clarity, I think, in the way that they're going to play this second half with that intensity. And ultimately, if you know, when you've got to get back into the game, you are maybe going to take a risk at the back, but I think that's the only way of getting your best players into this game for Coventry.
You know, I think having that tough game against Middlesbrough and, you know, finishing with the one up front and doing so well, it hasn't really helped him in this game, but he's sussed it. Anything can happen. We still, you know what it's like, the tug of war. Can they get, if they can get an equaliser, wow, what a game we'll have on our hands. I don't want them to, obviously, I'm totally impartial, but, you know, I'm only trying to, if you're not here, I'm trying to describe it, and it's on a knife edge right now.
Well, the Championship playoff final has given us some terrific games and seismic moments over the course of the years. Scott Sinclair's performance for Swansea, the Ricardo Vazte West Ham winner, the Dean Winder strike for Hull, that Bobby Zamora goal in the last few seconds. It's a match that makes heroes. You've had some good moments here as well in these games.
I thought you were going to mention Brett Ormerod's winner, Charlie Adams' free kick, and Kevin Phillips' penalty. Kevin Phillips' penalty.
3-2 that game.
All my life, if I wanted anyone to take a penalty for me, it was Kevin Phillips.
Here on the right-hand side, the ball is with Luton Town coming down the right touchline, moving towards the edge of the penalty area. Adebayo doesn't get on the end of it. It goes through to Horvath, and it's cleared, it's cleared away by Coventry City, who have the ball inside their own half. And Kelly finds Sheep, and he moves over the halfway line into opposition territory, being marshalled by Radok Mpanzu. Still Coventry on the ball, ticking over, trying to find a way through this tightly packed Luton defence. They've defended so well in the game so far, Luton Town. Can they continue that now they've got twin strikers to try and deal with? A bit more attacking thrust. Godden coming in from the right-hand side. Gyökeres through the centre. Doyle struck from 25 yards out. And with all due respect to Callum Doyle, who's on loan from Manchester City, he hasn't yet scored for his new loan club.
Well, he won't
score
if he
from
does
that sort of range.
That's the occasion. Don't do that. You know, your teammates should be calming him down. What are you doing? Shooting from there.
I wouldn't mind it. It's not even as if his own supporters were telling him to shoot, which normally encourages us to centre half time ago.
Dino, I wouldn't mind you shooting from there, mate. It'd probably go in.
He did score a big goal actually in the under-19s European Championship final for England last year, and he did play in this game last season, away game at Wembley, in a playoff final game at Wembley for Sunderland last year as well. Callum Doyle is on loan from Manchester City. Let's go down to the touchline because there's more details from Dan Windle about to come out.
Both technical errors, working hard. Sam as Coventry work it down the right-hand side. Eddie Vivash, Mark Robbins deep in conversation, wanting Coventry, yes, improvements, but to move the ball still much, much faster. For Luton, Alan Campbell has been sent out to warm up.
The ball is with the Luton Town in the left full-back position. They're quite happy to try and take as much time over these restarts as possible now. Luton Town, as they look to wind the clock down, 64 on the clock. There's still a way to go in this playoff final. Luton unbeaten in their last 9 meetings with Coventry in all competitions. Haven't lost to them since October 2017 when these two were in League Two. It's been some journey since then. Here is Gyökeres over on the far side. Coventry know they can't afford not to leave everything out on the field of play. And they've just lost the ball, and it's a good tackle by Roddick and Penzu, and he's found Wilson, and then Clark has got it. He's gone over halfway. They're on the counter now. Wilson has to readjust his position as Morris goes down the right side and moves towards the edge of the box, produces a cross, it takes a deflection and goes behind and away for a corner to Luton Town. That was a quick, sharp counter-attack. Morris down that right-hand side, into Clark, back to Morris, and Morris threatened to attack the Wilson goal away to our left-hand side, and he's generated a corner.
Clark's been outstanding, hasn't he? What a fantastic player. Great attack. What a game.
I mean, clearly he's that one player, isn't he, that's given that licence to say, as soon as that does go up, it's you. You've got to be the one that goes and be given the freedom that you don't have to worry about what's behind you. But this is the risk you're going to take if you're Coventry, that they might get these odd attacks and you're going to have to deal with them.
He's got the craft, Clark, as well, to try and open up the defence. He's good at carrying the ball in towards the near post. The corner goes up, goes Morris with a header, but it's blocked by... Brilliant challenge by McNally. Goes back out wide left. Into the box it goes again. This time further away by Bidwell. Goes up towards the midpoint of the Luton half, and then Harmer sends it wide towards the left, and now Doyle sends it into the path of Gyökeres, who's on the scamper into Luton territory. Now he's in the box. He sets it up the Harmer edge of the area. Right-footed shot from the edge of the box, and it scores! Scores a seismic goal for Coventry City on the breakaway. The team that have scored more goals in the Championship from fast breaks than anybody else have done it again. Sometimes it's all about timing, and Coventry City often get their timing right. They've equalised with 25 minutes to go, and may well have just turned the tide in the EFL Championship playoff final. 1-1.
If you want to get to the Premier League, you need a bit of Premier League quality, and these two have got it in abundance. Gyökeres again, you give him that space, and once he gets through, he's clinical in terms of his decision making. He's good. He could have gone and dribbled, he spotted his mate. Harmer just running towards the edge of the box, a little bit like Adebayo in the first half. He plays it into Harmer, and I tell you what, the coolness of this finish, he could easily have smashed it high and wide. He didn't. He just opened up that side foot crisply, zinged it across that slick surface into the far corner.
Well, big games need massive players, and he's turned up on the big occasion. He scored the goal that took them to Wembley. It's his 5th goal in his last 8 games, and when they needed a little bit of quality and a cool head in front of goal, Ian Holloway, he provided it.
Well, absolutely. I'm still purring about the pass from Doyle up the side of the defender for Gyökeres to get on. Then he spots his mate, and what a beautiful finish.
There's a cloud of light blue smoke, sky blue smoke, which has started to drift in from the pyrotechnics that have been led off by the jubilant Coventry City fans. And it's drifting all over Wembley now, and the mood amongst the Luton Town fans has changed as a result of that. 66 on the clock when they scored their equalising goal, Coventry. And as Ian Holloway has been saying for the last few minutes, if there's an equaliser in this game, we have got some match on our hands.
We certainly have. Two very, very good footballing teams, and I'm loving the difference in not just style, it's approach to the game, and I'm loving it. It's fantastic. We need different things every week to see different styles.
Yeah, we do. And look, it's problem solving, isn't it? Mark Robbins did it at half time. He solved that problem. It's now down to Luton Town to do the same, and sometimes the manager can have those options, but in game, as a player, can you recognise what you need to do? If the ball's not coming now to the two centre forwards, does it maybe have to come into your feet and you combine? You might have to change what you're doing.
Well, Gyökeres' goals have been important, but His assists have been important too, and he's been integral to Coventry over the course of the season, and he set up the chance for Harmer to score. And Gustavo Harmer, who is a Brazilian-born but Netherlands citizen, has smacked in what could be a game-changing goal here at Wembley. And all of a sudden the momentum has swung in Coventry's favour. But Ian Holloway, it had been Coventry who had started to creep into the ascendancy in this game before that.
Yeah, well, Luton had a fantastic start. Obviously, they got a really, really good goal, but they were creeping back in it. And then the change at half-time, the manager noticed what he needed to do to stop the opposition, and he's changed it up, and the lads are responding. Right now, I'm expecting Luton to come back. I think it's going to be they are a handful. You will not want to play them every week. What a fantastic advert for our second top division. It's brilliant, isn't it?
You're listening to Coventry 1, Luton 1 in the EFL Championship final, live on Talksport with Carling, the UK's #1 lager. 18 plus, please drink responsibly. More big moments like this over the course of the weekend. Tomorrow we're at Leicester, at Everton and at Leeds for the final day of the Premier League. We've got every angle covered for you. We've got the League 2 playoff final prior to that with Nigel Adderley and David Connolly, and then on Monday we'll bring you the conclusion to the playoffs, the League 1 playoff final. That's live. We're on air from 1 o'clock on Monday afternoon. On Wednesday night we have got full coverage of the Europa League final live on Talksport and nowhere else. Sevilla against Roma, and then the weekend the FA Cup final is live on Talksport. All the football all the time, you know, it makes sense. Here is Gyökeres trying to chase down a ball forward by McFadzean, stopped by Bell, who then left it for Osho. He sends it square, collected by Burke, and then back into Osho once again. Taps it into midfield, where Clark, who created the noise in the first half of his goal, which set things off, plays it back into a central position. Wide it goes now onto Peli Rodakimpenzu. He tries to cut infield, but Norton Cuffy is there just to brush him off the ball, take it away, and then it's cleared upfield and into opposition territory. And Matt Godden just turns round to his midfielders and just says to Liam Kelly, just calm it down just a little bit, don't rush it, we're in the ascendancy here.
It's just this occasion, honestly, you know, it's so finely balanced, this game at the moment.
On knife edge at Wembley. Luton going ahead, pegged back by Coventry City, who haven't come back to win a game over the course of the season from a deficit, but have come back to draw quite a few matches from deficits in the championship season. Here's Godden down the right-hand side, tussling with Osho, commits a foul on the right side of the area, and then Godden, who's almost acting like the cheerleader, the conductor of the orchestra behind the goal, gets back to his feet and once again waves more support from the Coventry City support behind the goal away to our right-hand side. Now it's important, Dean Ashton, that after a couple of times not getting the delivery right, they get this one spot on.
Of course, give your attacking players a chance, but brilliant work from Godden. He just gives them that extra little bit of pace. Alan's a terrific player, but he hasn't got that pace to keep up with Gyökeres and be a second threat when that ball's played over the top. I mean, he didn't deserve to really win anything there, and I actually think Osho needed to deal with that a lot better.
Well, Harmer is going to take the free kick on the right-hand side. He delivers it into a difficult area, and McFadzean was coming in at the back post and trying to get something on it. Didn't quite reach him and squirts out to the far side, and he'll be cleared away. And there's an opportunity to get the ball forward long here up to Clark, but they didn't play it, and as a result of that, the ball forward was cut out by Gyökeres, and now it's deep inside Luton territory once again. It's played back in field to Gyökeres. Coventry coming forward, slid into the box, a step over, it comes towards the edge of the penalty spot, and Godden swiveled and hit it and elevated over the top of the crossbar. The step over from Ben Sheaf was delicious, the ball into him was even better, and Godden, who turned and tried to fire that ball into the top corner of the net, was oh so close. Ian Holloway.
Yeah, it's weird how it's turned around a little bit, but they've got the momentum at the minute, Coventry, and this is the time where sort of Lockyer would be really badly missed, you know. If I was Rob, I'd be thinking about what I can do to try and change this, because, you know, the momentum's definitely with Coventry.
What a chance.
Oh, I mean, you could see Godden knew that was a big chance for him, because it initially was meant for the midfield runner. It then eventually came to him. Lovely first touch, and he just wanted to sort of touch it with the right and then shift and strike with the left. It was a little bit snatchy, a tiny bit snatchy, which just meant he lifted it over the top of the crossbar.
That doesn't look particularly comfortable for Gustavo Harmer, who's taken a whack in the centre circle. Immediately the medical staff called on. Just like he suffered a kick as two players collided. We're going to take another drinks break. I mean, Matt Godden, he scored against Luton earlier in the season at the CBS Arena back in February. He's ex-Posh, he's been at Coventry for 4 years now. His goal-scoring record is pretty handy, really. And he has playoff experience. He lost the Conference South playoff final on penalties with Ebbsfleet. He scored his penalty. You would expect him to. And I think he will look back at that chance and think he probably should have scored there.
Yes, I think that's that eagerness just to get that strike away, full concentration on what was a decent chance. But if they just keep producing these opportunities we're still waiting for Gyökeres, aren't we? You expect Gyökeres to get a chance in this game.
Well, I'm feeling for Rob at the moment, because Rob would have gone in there, Rob Edwards at half-time, the Luton manager, and actually said, look, keep doing what we're doing, lads. And he didn't anticipate that they would have changed to this and be pinned back like this. So, you know, he's just had a little meeting with his lads through this injury, and that might help them settle down again.
Let's get an insight into that meeting, which was happening on the cusp of the technical area, because Dan Windle was earwigging.
Exactly what Ollie said there, Sam. There's been a level of concern in the Luton technical area since Coventry have gone 2-up with Godden and Gyökeres, and the improvements of Coventry. Edwards and his staff struggling to get messages heard, to get messages across to their defensive unit in the Canberra, sitting in front of that back four. It is 1-1, and I've got to say, to my right, lads, the Coventry fans have not stopped.
Yeah, they were brilliant away at the Riverside Stadium. They're waving their flags, their sky blue flags. It's a sea of sky blue away to our right-hand side, all tightly packed into this magnificent bowl of a stadium. And they went behind early in the game and have fought their way back into it, and it's level pegging now, one apiece, but certainly they look to be in control of it. Luton, though, have been the comeback kings. They've managed to take 13 points from losing positions, but they've also been the team that have dropped more points from winning positions than any other in the Championship this season, 27. And I think Coventry are going to think about making a change very shortly. They're just sending someone out to warm up. Is that Fankati Darbo who's coming out to warm up down in front of us? And notice that Casey Palmer was on the bench today as well, which is good to see, because he's been out since February with a hamstring injury. I don't know how fit he is, but I think they just wanted him to be in and around the thick of the action should Coventry get themselves over the line. And also, he's a big player.
Yeah, this is a big moment in the game that, you know, if I was a Coventry fan, I'd be very worried about Armour walking off there, you know?
Yeah, well, he's just come off towards the near side, having had treatment. I think he's going to come back on, the goal scorer. He is. He doesn't look particularly comfortable, but we'll see how that develops. Luton Town lost their captain early on, Tom Lockyer, who's had to go to hospital after collapsing on the field of play. There's no more information available on his condition. And Luton have released a statement saying that he is conscious, talking to his family who are around him in the hospital at this moment in time. And as soon as there's an update on his condition, we'll bring it to you here on Talksport. Ball floated forward by Luton's Amari Bell towards the far post. Bell finds Morris, who nudges it back into the right wing position. It's a cross that comes in from Drame. It's cleared brilliantly by Ben Sheaf. And then out towards the far side, and now Maurice Burke's got it on the halfway line. Talksport live at the Championship playoff final. Alex Crook and the Boot Room boys, Andy Benoit and Darren Ambrose joining him for a reaction to this a little bit later on. And who will they be talking about? Drama in towards the edge of the penalty area, straight down the throat of Ben Wilson. He was aiming for Adebayo. It's a crossfield ball from the right hand side, and Drame almost finding Adebayo, 6'4" tall, rose inside the box, but the goalkeeper Ben Wilson came out and claimed. It's still 1-1.
A little conversation with Rob and his team, and then you've seen three diagonals and they look dangerous again. It's amazing. Really is amazing. Sometimes you're playing out there, you don't realise what you need to do. Your manager reminds you, and here you go. And what a game! I'm really worried about Hamer here.
He's not going to be able to continue.
I think he take a risk here, Dean, on Casey Palmer coming on.
Yeah, I mean, look, he rolled his ankle, Palmer, in aerial challenges. He landed badly. I thought he did well to even come back on, and they're going to have to make a change, which is a big blow, to be honest, for Coventry, and that might swing things again. But Ollie's right in terms of maybe they've just realised, well, where is our spare player now? And maybe it might be Dramere, maybe it might be Burke now, and the opposite diagonal, finding that spare player that can play that diagonal again and continue the way you want to play.
Well, they are going to make that change. Casey Palmer, who has experience of playoff finals before. He was promoted at Huddersfield here in 2017, widely regarded as the worst ever game of football in the history of man.
That's harsh.
It's not harsh. He's actually quite generous. It was awful. Listen, I love the playoffs, but that game I'd like to erase from my memory. Casey Palmer coming on. And he hasn't played since February the 25th at Jamaican International, and he is going to enter the field of play at just the right time for Coventry City. Palmer off, the goal scorer. Kankati Darboe just trying to console him down in front of us, and doing a good job of doing so. Darboe still warming up down in front of us, looking to get ready for maybe coming on to make an impact himself. Ball put out of play by Clark, and it's a Coventry City throw. We've got 10 nervous minutes to come. I think everybody now inside the stadium knows that any change in the scoreline at this stage, and all of a sudden the feeling will change dramatically. Any mistake now could be disastrous. Any moment of genius could be decisive. And the playoffs usually switch late on in the games. There's usually one more big moment of drama. Palmer gets the first touch of the ball, plays it wide to the left, and it's Gyökeres. Lovely little jink to go infield. He's blocked by Reece Burke, who's done well since coming on for the stricken Tom Lockyer. Goes up towards the middle of the halfway line, and then it's nudged behind, and it's out for a throw-in, which is given to Coventry City. Tossed back in towards Gyökeres. Palmer charges forward. Didn't have the ability to get beyond Nakamba, but managed to find Godden. It goes out wide towards the left. Bidwell plays it infield. Palmer takes it on. He needs a bit of support. He's gone wide, and now he's threatening to take on Mpanzu, and he produces a cross, which is quite decent actually into the penalty area. No one attacked it, Dean Ashton.
They were just stood watching. There was no real anticipation there. Norton Cuffy, I thought that's where everything slows down. You as the other-sided wing-back, you can come on the blind side there, try and get in right at that back post, make an arcing run towards that back stick. Instead, he just kind of stood and watched it.
It's a beautiful cross as well from Palmer, who's just come on.
Ball goes back to Jordan Clark on this near side. Norton Cuffy takes it on, plays it infield. It's on to Sheaf, and then on to Gyökeres. Gyökeres trying to keep hold of it, plays it to Sheaf down the right channel inside the area, skips back, he's got away from his marker. The offside flag is up. Did he go just a little bit too early there, Sheaf, as the ball was played down to him by Gyökeres? He might just have done. They've released it quickly though, Luton, and they're directly travelling down the left touchline with Jordan Clark onto Adebayo, and then was there a push on the back of McFadden? The referee said no. McFadden's put it out and it's away for a corner to Luton, and the game has gone from one end to the other in the blink of an eye in Holloway.
Well, and now it's a Luton set play. What more do you want? This is fantastic. I would hate to call this, Sam. I would not. I'm pretty brave enough, but
we're not going to make you. We're just going to let you enjoy it.
Oh, good. I'm glad I'm neutral, because good gracious me, if I was attached to one of these teams, I'd be panicking now.
Yeah, very set piece about to be taken by Jordan Clark, right-footed, delivers it into a central area. It's flicked away. Good defensive header again, this time by Ben Sheaf. It goes out on the far side, collected by Osho. Infield to Nakamba. Nakamba across into the centre circle. Drame clips it wide towards the left-hand side, headed into the air by McNally, and it's out for another Luton Town throw. Change for Luton Town. And they're going to take off Doughty. They are. They're going to take off Doughty and bring on Fred Onyedinma.
Oh, wow. Go on, Fred.
Mate,
Adam in Millwall, yeah. What a wonderful lad. Fantastic player.
In the team at Millwall that got to the playoff final, Wickham as well. He played with our very own Mr. Akin Fenwa, who will be on the radio straight after the conclusion of this game. He's had a bit of trouble actually recently with an injury, but he's on the pitch now. Fred Onyedinma, the 26-year-old. Here is Godden for Coventry City on halfway, trying to bring the ball forward. He plays it down the right for Palmer, but it's a little bit too hefty, that. Slightly awry. He's useful, isn't he? Sometimes it lacks a little bit of quality, Matt Godden, but he's useful because he buzzes everywhere and he's always annoying to defend against, I think.
You want your centre forward to be annoying. You know, I've had some brilliant ones in my time. Jamie Curran, he would shoot from everywhere and he was annoying, but normally they'd go in.
Didn't retire till about 42, did he?
Yeah.
Here is
Proud of him.
Here is Onyedinma down the left-hand side, gets into a crossing position, a low ball which is steered away just about with a deflection by Norton Cuffy into the path of Kelly, and Coventry are able to clear it up towards the halfway line, and Sheaf tries to play it forward, but Clark was back chasing it down. And you know, you get the feeling that after a gruelling 46-game championship season, 2 legs of a semi-final, and an arduous 85 minutes that we've had so far of this playoff final, Dean Ashton, we may well be heading to extra time.
Possibly so hard to split these two sides, but tactics are starting to disappear. It's starting to be a bit of a slog. You can feel the tension in both of the sides, and you just really don't know now. It's about, if you do create that one chance, can you be clinical with it? Don't know now. I didn't know at the start of the game. I didn't know at half-time, and I certainly don't know now.
Dino, come on.
85,711 here today. It's a little short of the record set in 2014 by QPR and Derby, but it's a healthy attendance for a second-tier playoff final. Well, it means so much. It's not just the money, and I know everyone talks about the 170 million quid and all that kind of stuff, but ultimately it's about the prestige, it's about the prize, it's about getting to the big time, playing against Manchester United and Newcastle and Arsenal and Manchester City and Pep Guardiola. It's about taking on those teams that you haven't played for such a long time, not with regularity anyway. Here's Godden running in behind and occupying Bell. He goes into the penalty area, plays it left, and Palmer takes over now, tries to jink his way into a crossing position and forces a challenge. It does go straight out of play, and it's going to be a goal kick rather than the corner that he was hoping for. And it's back with Horvat away to our right-hand side. It remains 1-1. You're listening to Talksport in the EFL Championship playoff final live on Talksport with Carling, the UK's #1 lager, 18+. Please drink responsibly. You played in big games, big tense finals, Dean. What goes through the mind of a striker in these moments? Give me one chance, just give me one more.
Yes, of course. Yeah, you want it to be you, generally, the selfish players that we are. But at this point, with what you've gone through, you as a side, you just want, it doesn't matter how it happens. You just, now is when I think the fear kicks in, the fear of what might not happen. And you've somehow got to put that to the back of your mind.
You've got to stick to the task. Do what is needed.
Cross coming from Brame, and it wasn't great, and it's broken down, and it's put forward quickly by Palmer into the chest of Gyökeres. Lovely layoff onto Godden, left-hand side. We're in the 87th minute of the game. Gyökeres trying to turn, looking to try and get it onto his right foot. He's kept hold of it well. He's done a brilliant turn into the box. Deflected effort comes into the air, and it's caught by the goalkeeper and cleared away. And there's nervous faces amongst the Luton support everywhere. They're biting their fingernails now because they know that one mistake, one stroke of genius, and all of the season's hard work goes up in smoke. There's movement down on the Coventry bench. Dan Windle.
Fankati Darboe set soon to be introduced, Sam, into the game with minutes of the 90 to go. This is what me and Holloway called squeaky bum time.
Yeah, he's not the only one.
What a turn by Gyökeres then, and great block again. Some of the defending today has been commendable, absolutely commendable. It's a dying art.
Up towards Adebayo, who's just straight offside as the ball's played up to him. Now, you can just feel the tension inside this stadium now. All of a sudden there is a sense of apprehension, of agitation, of jumpiness about the supporters from both these two teams. Can someone find some poise? Maybe Jordan Clark, who's picked the ball up for Luton inside Coventry territory. He's turned away from one challenge, he's got away from Sheep. He's set it back to Pelirana Kimpanzu. Out to the far side, Drama with a chance to cross. It's in towards Adebayo, might come through to Anya Dinmar, but it's smuggled behind by Norton Cuffy, and it's going to be a Luton set piece in the final 2 minutes of the game. Dean Ashton.
Oh, he's got to get inside the fullback. Has to there on your Dinmar. Again, we saw it at the other end.
He's only just come on.
Yeah, but he's got to recognise that and just gamble that it's going to fall to you and miss out your two centre forwards. In the end, Norton Cuffy gets lucky because he didn't know he was there.
I think some of the defending today's been outstanding. Absolutely. The aerial duels that we've seen it's not usual, it's not normal, but wow, I love it.
Morris, Burke, and Panzu, Adebayo, Osho, all waiting for the delivery from Clark, and it misses. Every single one of them goes over their heads and out towards the far side. Adebayo scurries for it, but there's a tackle coming in, and that tackle from Bidwell puts it straight out for a throw-in to Luton Town, who have it still inside Coventry territory in the 89th, now 90th minute of the game. How many minutes of added time at the end of this section of the game? We're going to go to extra time here on Talksport. The ball is over on the far side, the right. It's crossed off the back of a defender and into the air. Mpanzu picks it up. It goes wide for Luton. They're trying to get it into the area, but Sheep is up there to shut the door, and diligent defending again stops the cross from coming into the box. There's going to be an added time of, what is that, 6 minutes, did he say? 6 minutes of added time?
Where did they get that from?
It's 8 minutes, I think. 8 minutes of added time. The fourth official couldn't get the ball working, Graham Scott. So it is 8 minutes, I can tell you that, but the poor old fourth official has had nothing to do all day, couldn't get the board working.
Wow. And where did he get the 8 minutes from?
Well, there was 8 minutes in the first half, but there was a significant delay to Tom Lockyer. We've had the injury to Harmer.
Yeah, but that wasn't 8 minutes, Sam. Even with my time in brain, that was a lot shorter than that. Come on.
But
is it 30 seconds for a substitution as well, is it?
Do you want it to end?
No, I'd rather have extra time.
Would you? Okay. All right, well, you might get that. You might get your wish. Or maybe you won't, because standing over the ball, a free kick for Luton Town. This is 8 yards back from the edge of the penalty area. Jordan Clark, who scored the first goal of the match, has placed it down. There's a four-man wall. Adebayo's just trotted into the penalty area. He shoots right-footed. It's well over the bar, and it's out for a goal kick. And it's a bit of a waste, really, Dean Ashton.
I mean, those are the moments. It's kind of what you dream of as a player. That moment, ticking down the clock, free kick outside the area. Can you execute as you practice time and time again on the training field? Wasn't able to.
I watched one of my players do that over and over again. Charlie Adam, top corner, that's what you want. But Clark has been in defence, he's been excellent.
Yes,
in fairness to him, he's been superb.
And the fans of both sets of supporters have been too. Here's Godden from range on the volley. And there's 30 yards out, and it was knocked down by Gyökeres after being kicked up from the goalkeeper. It landed just in front of Godden, and he smacked it goalwards, but he didn't get it right, his contact right at all, and it looped way over the top of the crossbar away to our right-hand side, and Luton will get to clear. 92 minutes of the 98 that are going to be played here have been played, and it remains 1-1 on Talksport. Extra time to come in the next few minutes here. Stick with us, we'll bring it to you, and then the boot room will go through it all and take your calls as well as the interviews with some of the main protagonists. Drame plays it wide onto the left. Anya Dinmar with a chance to cross. Well, it's a decent looking effort as well, maybe just a little bit too close to the goalkeeper. He's got the ability to swing balls in from that sort of range. Quickly it goes up towards the left hand side. You can't stop for a minute here. Gyökeres on the attack. I mean, it is a breathless end to the game, and you know what, credit to them for showing the levels of fitness that they have after such a gruelling season.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're both just whacking it now, to be honest. Every time the centre-backs get it, they just whack it forwards, and it's like, go on, who's going to be the better two centre-forwards to get us something on the break, because the football's gone.
Is this
what tiny percentage of football there was has definitely gone.
Is there a sort of myth about the size of the Wembley pitch that it is more draining than everywhere else? It isn't the biggest pitch in the Premier League or the Championship. It is a big pitch, but it's not the biggest. It's the same size as the Etihad.
The drama, when you add the emotional aspects to this, to what's hanging on it, what's riding on it, then it drains you. Even as a manager, it drains you.
It is slightly bigger, well, in fact significantly bigger than the tight confines of Kenilworth Road, where they can squeeze just 10,365 in.
Sam, even after the final whistle, when I wasn't totally convinced that we'd done it, do you know what I mean? It was like a brain freeze. Oh my God, yeah, we're there, you know? I still could see them equalising.
Even after the full-time whistle?
Even after the full-time whistle, that's how mad it makes you.
And they didn't have VAR in your day.
That's right, mate.
And this pitch 5 yards longer and 2 yards wider than the pitch at Kenilworth Road. It's a lot wider than the CBS Arena pitch. The ball is out though, over on the far side by the corner flag. We played 4 of the 8 minutes added on, and we're into injury time at the end of the 90 minutes. Is there going to be a winner? Can Coventry conjure one up? Can Luton repel them and maybe attack at the other end themselves? Sheaf's got it far side, onto Palmer, turns and shoots, and it's a wild effort. And that's been sort of like the pattern of play really, Dean, isn't it? You know, when you've got into a shooting position, everybody's just taken the first shot that's become available, and they've been inaccurate.
It's difficult not to want it to be you that does it, and when that chance comes around, you tend to snatch at it. And you're right, there probably was a better pass, a better option there, just to link and play that extra bit of attacking play. But it's just so hard, like I said, because you want it to be you.
And the minds are starting to drift to extra time. And nows have been bitten to the quick. There is a lot of apprehension inside the stadium as we approach the final few knockings of this game. Jokeres has been sent down the left by Godden, looking to try and fight with Osho for the ball. Osho's put it out far side. Maybe one last chance for Coventry City.
He's incredible. He's still full of running now.
Jokeres.
Yeah, what a player.
24 years of age. Much coveted Super Swede. Been linked with Premier League moves. He might be going there anyway with Coventry City. He's got the ball on the angle of the penalty areas. They attack the goal once again. Palmer into the box. Away by Anya Dinmar. Drops for Sheaf. Edge of the D. Right-footed shot into the body of Rhys Berg. The ball's bounced kindly for Luton. And now they run up to halfway. Norman Cuffey trying to get back. But Roderick Mpanzu has managed to work it wide. Wills, it's out to Morris, who skipped past the challenge of McInally. Down into the left wing position. He produced across, which takes the deflection. Comes back to Ben Sheaf. And he now tries to charge forward, but Anya Dinmar then gets beyond him and then wins a set piece. But instead of thrusting it into the box and waiting, he plays it quick down the left to Adebayo. Luton on the attack into the area now. Adebayo needs some help. Marvellous Nakamba joins. Now it's on to Roderick Mpanzu. He's got space out wide for Drame, but instead comes infield and plays it left. Adebayo now. Elijah Adebayo, who's been such a handful and created the first goal for Jordan Clark. Steps it back into Roderick Mpanzu, who gets it back again, a right-footed shot. And it's straight down the throat of the goalkeeper, who just leans to his right, picks the ball up. There wasn't much venom in that effort. And it's cleared away, and we are now 1 minute and 10 seconds away from extra time.
I think the weather is kicking in now. They look exhausted, don't they? It's a bit like a charity match now. It looks like a celebrity charity match.
It's not that bad.
That's harsh, Sam.
Ball has been played out towards the far side, and it's up to Carlton Morris. And Morris has got away from the defender. A lovely little trick, and now he tries to take on McInally, but it was one attempt too many, and he overran the ball, and he got a little bit excited, and it goes back into the arms of the goalkeeper.
Did the first bit right. Again, just got a little bit greedy with the way he wanted to play. I mean, the game's wide open, absolutely wide open.
It's a slugfest now. It's who connects with the punch, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ball out on the left-hand side. Both players suffering from tired limbs. The ball's on the left. It's delivered by Bell into the box. It goes over the head of everyone. It'll run out on the far side for a Coventry City throw. We've played 97 minutes and 40 seconds. And I'm sure that the referee is thinking about blowing for extra time. And that will mean that those aching limbs, those legs that have been sapped through not only physical exertion but the nervous exhilaration of the game. We'll have to go again for another half an hour. Michael Oliver brings it to a close, and for the first time in 6 years we have extra time in the playoff final between Coventry City and Luton Town. One apiece. A goal from Gustavo Harmer has lit up the Coventry support. He's dragged them back into the game, but then he limped off because of an injury. Jordan Clark's goal after 23 minutes seems a long time ago now, and there's still a long time to go. Coventry 1, Luton 1, extra time incoming. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, we're going to have commentary of that extra time as well, and in some ways I'm very pleased because it's been such a thrilling game. I mean, 98 minutes they played in that game, and even right up to the end of extra time they were desperate to attack. It was end to end, but without a lot of quality given the tiredness, and I wonder if that will kick in during this extra time period. A couple of the Luton players are down on the floor receiving a little bit of treatment, as you would imagine. Luton had all the drinks laid out ready to go. They knew there was going to be extra time, as they had them all ready, lined up. Probably had names on the bottles as well, like being at infant school. It was incredible. But
well, they got enough staff there, eh?
Yeah, that's one for every player. But I think the key things here, Tom Lockyer going off in the first half, we spoke about that at half-time, but Gus Harmer going off in the second half, Dean Ashton, I think was crucial, because with him just behind Godden and Gyökeres, you thought that Coventry really had the advantage. They lost something when he went off, though, didn't they?
Well, because he's the player that has got the quality to take that on the turn, so you can play into him, he can take it on the turn and then start to progress, whereas now it is just hit the front. It's just hit Gyökeres, hope he wins it, hope Godden wins something and they combine, whereas before it was we can play it, we can do both. We can play it up to Gyökeres, or we can play it into Harmer and he can then turn and create. So they've lost that link, and that's so important.
And you know what, Ian Holloway, I mean, Dan Windle explained some of it, he described some of the scenes, but Gus Harmer coming off, Mark Robbins gave him a big hug, word in the air, you've got us the goal that's kept us in this, you know, you can be proud of yourself. Every single player on the bench, staff and subs, were giving him a massive hug. He's clearly well loved, but he was desperately upset. He didn't want to come off. That's how much it means to these players.
Mate, I had the biggest argument with one of my players that I've ever had in my football career, and that was Gary Taylor-Fletcher. He twisted his ankle and it was up like a balloon before the West Ham game, and he was trying to convince me on the morning that he's fit to play. And he thanked me last week when I was up in Blackpool for not letting him play. He would have ruined his ankle, but he was telling me he's fit. Mate, this is what happens. This is the day that you'll never forget, and you want to be limping over that line and doing it. And you could see how distraught he was, but at the end of the day, someone else is going to go on, and hopefully they might do it for you.
Well, he's made memories with an incredibly brilliant goal. I must tell you that Elijah Adebayo is receiving some treatment. It's, we believe, on his groin. Dean Ashton, you tell us, you've been in energy-sapping games that have ruined your body. I mean, they've got to go through this, another half hour of this in the heat as well. So I'm just wondering. I mean, look at the. I mean, they're really working on his body. It's just it's amazing to see the physios. It looks like they're doing him damage, but clearly they know what they're doing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, they were heavily massaging the hamstrings and the quads, just trying to loosen that groin area off. I mean, just as the final whistle was about to go, he was sort of on the floor in a yoga position, almost trying to stretch that. The one thing is, there's one thing getting cramp in your calves. There's another thing getting it in like your hamstrings and your groins. It's very difficult to then carry on. But this is where, Ollie, where you're really going to find something out about every individual player. Who is going to be willing to get through that? Who is going to be willing to push through it and get to the end of the game? Because you can't just be carrying players.
Mate, I'm going back to something that happened really weirdly this year, and I'm going to drag Conte in. Conte had a moan up. They kicked him out, and I thought he was right, you know, because he spoke about a lack of feeling. These two sides both have what a manager wants. They have that hunger, they have that desire. They will not let each other down, and I think it's been a privilege to witness this. It's not the standard of look, you're going to go, oh yeah, that bloke's brilliant, but do you know what, collectively I've been so impressed with both sets of teams.
Yeah, brilliant. They're coming back out for the extra time period. Cold wet towels were given to all the players as well. We could have done with them pitch side earlier, couldn't we? Where's our producer with those? Hey, up here in the shades telling us what to do in our ear. Incredible. By the way, the Wembley pitch, 5 yards longer than Kenilworth Road, 2 yards wider, 590 square yards bigger in total, 7.5% bigger than Kenilworth Road. That is quite a difference. Let's see if it makes a difference in extra time. It's Coventry 1, Luton 1. Here's Dean Ashton, Ian Holloway and Sam Matchface.
Coventry dominated possession, 54%. Luton 46. 10 shots on goal, 12 for Luton, 2 on target for Coventry, including the goal they scored, 4 on target for Luton Town. You can see that both these two teams were energy sapped before the end of the game. The excitement was absolutely gripping. It was played like a little bit of a basketball match. There was a phenomenal intensity to the game, and maybe it's going to be a moment of magic that sends either Coventry or Luton to the playoffs, through the playoffs into the Premier League.
Sam, I truly hope it is, because I don't want it to go to penalties. What if you're the one who misses?
I do.
Do you know what I mean?
I love penalties.
Do you?
Yeah. Get straight to him. What? Someone run down there and tell him.
No.
I must admit, I am of the opinion that extra time is one of those things that you just don't require anymore. But anyway, that's a debate for a different day. The EFL Cup has certainly benefited for having a system where it goes straight to penalties in most of their ties. Here comes Drame down the right-hand side. Peli Radakin-Panzu tries to head it on and sends it into the right channel. Luton now in those orange shirts, navy blue shorts, attacking the goal away to our right, where the Coventry City supporters are. I mean, the Coventry City supporters were struggling to get home on the train afterwards anyway. Now they're going to be even later tonight because of the issue with the Chiltern trains. Let's go down to the touchline. There's been another change. Dan Windle.
Fankati Darbo on as we expected, Sam, taking the place of Brooke Norton-Cuffy, like for like, over on that right-hand side.
Here come Coventry City. Gyökeres, edge of the area, right-footed shot spilt by the goalkeeper Horvath, but then recovered at the second attempt. And it was a good, powerful run from Gyökeres down the right-hand side. He must have been about 20 yards from goal on the angle, and he shot from the apex of the penalty area straight at the American goalkeeper, who made a good save, Ian Holloway.
What a fantastic player this Gyökeres is.
Gyökeres is a good player, but Gyökeres is...
Gyökeres, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's so difficult to pronounce that I was hoping he wasn't playing, but...
that was like a forehand volley.
Yeah, I got to say, he's almost as good as him, isn't he? He's like a machine. I am so impressed with him.
I think he wanted extra time, just to test everyone.
Oh, good gracious me. What an engine the fella's got, and what skill. He's hardly give it away.
Here's Adebayo trying to charge through the centre, and he's just blocked off before he can do that by Callum Doyle. Takes the ball away and manages to... it's Carl McFadden, and takes the ball away and manages to clear. Doyle gets back into position because Adebayo is trying to take him on down the right. And want a free kick that's not forthcoming, Luton Town, and it goes out for a throw on this near touchline.
I do believe the referee's had an excellent game today.
He's done very well, and he's got a busy week because he is off to do fourth official duties, I think, in the Europa League final with Anthony Taylor, who's going out there. As Casey Palmer goes charging forward, is brought down, and a free kick is given to Coventry City just in front of the centre circle. They want to get it moving quickly. Jordan Clark stands in his way. They can't do so, so they'll reset the free kick and they'll clear it away.
He's a different type of player, isn't he, Palmer, compared to Harmer, and it's just that little acceleration, isn't it? They can really burst away from midfield players, and especially with the fresh leg that he's got up against this Luton defence, he could end up being the key player in this extra time.
What a comeback game to come on. He hasn't played for months.
Free kick delivered into the box towards the far post, and good defending by Luton, just stopping anybody attacking at the back post. McAnally was trying to come round and do just that, but he couldn't get on the end of it, and it goes out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. Good defending by Luton Town, who have been pretty good over the course of the season, squeezing teams out of matches. They lost Nathan Jones in the World Cup break to Southampton, but Rob Edwards, who was at Watford for the first 11 games of the season, then turned up at Kenilworth Road. I think at the time everybody thought, how's that going to work, bearing in mind Watford and Luton absolutely detest one another, but they've taken him in as their own. There was a big banner when he first turned up welcoming him to the club, And what a foolish move it looks from Watford now, not keeping hold of him. And having another season where they've had a revolving door on the manager's office.
Well, I do not think that you should do that. Good luck to him, but I think it's absolutely nonsense.
Ball loose inside the penalty area after a flick on by Morris. Out comes the goalkeeper before Clark can react, and it's cleared away by Coventry City out to the far side. Fankati Darbo started his career at Chelsea. Casey Palmer the same. Let's try and link in the middle of the park, but it's not a great ball forward, and Nakamba will return it up towards the edge of the Coventry penalty area. Adebayo, who seems to be fit despite the issues he had with his groin during that period of rest before extra time, plays the ball into Morris. They work it well out wide towards the left. Onyia Dinmar gets on it now. Left apex to the penalty area, right-footed cross. It's another good ball by him that no one really attacked.
Yeah, gracious me. What a great ball that is. That should be a tap-in. Dino, you'd have been there, mate. Even an extra time, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's just difficult. I think when you think that first cross is going to come in and you've made that run, and then he checks and then plays it again, especially when you're tired, to get back on side, and Carlton Morris knew he was offside, so hence he just let it go and made it look like it was a poor cross when it wasn't.
That was a good cross from friend Onyia Dinmar. This is Gyökeres turning, but playing the ball straight to the feet of Osho. And he's just felt something, and it's not great. And he's pulled up over on the far side. Gabe Osho. As Drame sends it forward, looking for Clark. It's headed away, but it might come to Adebayo inside the penalty area. Clark gets there. Adebayo sends it square. Doesn't quite reach his intended target, Roderick Mpanzu, and it's cleared away by Coventry. And Casey Palmer's got it now. He skips away from Marvellous Nakamba. He moves through the centre circle. He tries to nudge it on towards Godden. He just about gets there. It gets up to the edge of the area, Godden, and he falls to the floor, but he made a bit too much of that dramatically. And although there looked to be a pull on him by Onyia Dinmar, the referee is allowed play on. And now Morris is scampering away down the left-hand side. Carlton Morris, who believes he was fouled in the left-wing position. And McNally's going to be penalised here. And it's going to be a free kick, another set piece for Luton Town over on the far side. Dean Ashton.
He's lucky as well. I think he gingerly looked at the referee.
Yeah.
McNally on a yellow card. And Carlton Morris just knew he had the beating of him there. The energy levels were higher. He just said, come on, let's have a race down the wing, and I've got you. And then just a lovely little Cruyff turn back inside, and McNally made the challenge. Probably wasn't another yellow, I would expect, actually.
We have to call that a Morris turn now, not Cruyff.
We'll get down to the benches in just a second, because there's going to be a change for Luton Town. But here's the free kick over on the far side. Clark's going to take it. He's got Adebayo to aim at, and Roderick Mpanzu on the edge of the box. It's aimed in towards the near post. Osho went up. Seems to have recovered from his ailment that he picked up just a few moments ago. Here is Roderick Mpanzu sending it back to halfway. Bell will steer it to the goalkeeper, and it'll be cleared by Horvath. On the touchline, Dan Windle for us.
One of the longest serving left at Luton. Luke Berry shortly will be coming on for Luton into their midfield, Sam.
Yeah, what a great record he's got as well. In Wembley occasions, he scored in the FA Trophy final win here for Cambridge. He was promoted here with Cambridge. He actually once, would you believe, scored 4 goals in one game in 2016 against Coventry City. Can he come off the bench and take Luton Town to the Premier League? Well, here's the change. Roderick Mpanzu coming off. Luke Berry coming on. He is a favourite of the Luton fans, a long-serving player. Can it be him? One long server to another. 364th appearance for Luton today for Roderick Mpanzu. He's been there on the whole journey. Ball out on this near side, and it's going to be a Coventry City free kick. Ben Sheaf will take it. 8 minutes gone in extra time. 2 halves of 15 minutes before penalty kicks will separate these two teams eventually one way or another. It's been a nail-biting game, a game full of physicality and direct football, and it's been draining for all those players that are out there. Clark drags them up the pitch with a bit of dribbling out to the left-hand side, might go loose inside the area. Clark goes down under a challenge from Wilson, and he says that he's dived and he's given the free kick the other way, Michael Oliver. Wilson came charging out. Clark went down and he's got a yellow card for his trouble. Michael Oliver was on the spot. What did you make of it, Dean Ashton?
I thought he had a great position, the referee, Michael Oliver. A brilliant position. He was right behind it. You could see him just straining his neck to make sure he saw that, and it was so clear. It was a terrible, terrible effort at a dive, I have to say. And rightly so, he gets the yellow card.
As a manager, what do you make of that?
I'd be having a go at him, you know. Let me see. I can't see it first.
It might have been a little touch there.
He did catch him. I've seen
tiniest of little touches, or was it a dive?
It was.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Dino's saying he's a dive.
Yeah. Normally, when your feet disappear from under you, you do it by yourself.
Speaking from experience, VAR had a good look at it. It certainly wasn't a clear and obvious error, was it? It was actually good refereeing by Michael.
Well done, Michael Oliver. You didn't have to wait for VAR for a half hour.
Ball clipped forward up towards Berry, who takes it on the chest and looks to get the better of Darbo. Did enough to steer it into a Coventry blue jersey. 10 minutes played, all given away. Burke has nabbed it, and then there's a collision in midfield. The ball's been spilt, but somehow Coventry managed to get it away. Kelly gets it over the halfway line, but it's picked up again on this near side by Sheaf, who's been everywhere. He's probably had the most touches in a Coventry jersey. Palmer couldn't hold on to it. Drame takes over for Luton. It's end-to-end stuff. You're listening to Coventry 1, Luton 1 in the EFL Championship final, live on Talksport with Carling, the UK's #1 lager. 18 plus, please drink responsibly. There's a whole stadium divided down the middle. Orange to my left, sky blue to my right. The atmosphere has just been quelled as the nerves take over. And there is a problem here for the goalkeeper, Horvath, who's gone down away to our left-hand side.
You know, this looks like an English match of old. You know, our divisions used to be physical, and you know, and instead of this sort of non-contact rubbish we see these days with people diving for stuff. I've thoroughly enjoyed the contact that we've seen.
It's a throwback game, isn't it, Dean?
It is, but it used to be, you know, very useful in the way that teams used to play.
Do you think that either of these two teams going in the Premier League will play exactly the same way next year?
I think they probably will. I think they'd struggle if they did, because what I've seen is that early on there was a bit more substance to the way they played. As they've got more and more tired, it's just become Luton have basically just diagonal everything, and then even Coventry, it's get it up to Gyökeres, hope he wins something. There's still that lack of having 2 or 3 options. That's the problem.
Well, this isn't a great scene for Coventry City. Dan Windle on the touchline.
Firstly, Sam, very interesting. Josh Eccles on, the academy product for Coventry, replacing Casey Palmer, who was subbed on, of course, during the game. Palmer off. Eccles replaces him into that Coventry midfield. Horvath feeling his hamstring. They've made 3 changes, Luton. Horvath up and moving, but you wouldn't say Sam moving brilliantly, the Luton keeper.
Yeah, they've still got the opportunity to make another substitution, but he doesn't look particularly great away to our left-hand side. And
so is that an injury to Palmer?
It must be, mustn't it? Because otherwise you wouldn't bring him on and then take him off.
No, I think they brought him on to try and win it in that little moment.
He has been giving the ball away, but that would be incredibly... I think it would be strange to take one of your fresher players off.
They're suggesting on the touchline that he didn't look injured, but it has been a long time since he played, so it wouldn't be a surprise if he hasn't reacted well to getting back out there again. It was a bit of a gamble. They call it a light bulb when you're brought on and brought off again in the same game. He has been light bulbed. Maybe it's because of injury. But he was getting some consoling words from Adi Vivash. We'll get the word from the touchline as soon as Dan's investigated. The ball is cleared upfield towards Gyökeres. Gyökeres trying to turn. He does well to spin and try and play it down the left-hand side. It's collected by Kelly and sprinting out to the far side. Fankati Darbo can't quite get on to the end of it, and it's cleared away and out for a thrown over on the far side. So they have made another change, and that change is Josh Eccles coming onto the field of play. Last goal against Birmingham, he came through the ranks. His first experience of Wembley Stadium for Josh Eccles, wearing 28 and playing in that number 10 position now. Bell throws the ball in. There's a collision which ends up with a high boot from Morris into the body of the Coventry City player. As a result of that, it's a free kick to Coventry, and we've played 13.5 minutes of this first half of extra time on Talksport.
You can even tell the support has just dipped, hasn't it? I mean, everyone can feel for the players almost what a slog this starts to become, and mistakes and poor passes.
Morris has won it back far side after a wasted free kick. Sheep has given it away. Morris has sent it forward. Adebayo is trying to chase with McFadzean. He manages to nudge the ball clear just about, but they look like two old war horses there, Adebayo and McFadzean. Adebayo is obviously still struggling with his issues that he was having dealt with at half-time. Here's the ball played towards the edge of the penalty area, and Eccles is trying to get on the end of a decent ball from Lockyer over on the far side. They couldn't quite connect the play, and it's cleared on the edge of the Luton box up through the middle of the pitch. And here come Coventry again. And we've played our 15 minutes nearly of the first period of extra time, and the second period to come, plus a possible penalty shootout. The way it looks at this moment in time is that we are sort of limping towards penalty kicks, Ian Holloway.
Yeah, what amazes me is how the tennis players play for 5 hours at the level that they play at. Do you know what I mean? The boys have given us everything today. You can't say they haven't turned up. They've all done everything. But my goodness me!
Well, post-match we might ask Djokovic. Oh, sorry, no,
yeah, sorry, yeah, Jokovic. I mean, it looks that way to me. That's how you spell it in Bristol.
2 minutes of added time.
Come on, Sam. If you talk Bristolian, you'd have said Jokovic.
Where did the 2 minutes come from in this particular half?
I have no idea with these timekeeping people.
Ball played down the right side by Coventry City. We're into those 2 minutes of added time at the end of the first period of extra time, with another gruelling period to come. Agitation is clear, but Kelly's got the ball and he's tried to get to the edge of the penalty area. I think that was an attempted shot, but he was caught in two minds. Didn't know whether to slide it into Bidwell or have a go. In the end, he did neither, and he sort of almost just passed the ball out of play, Dean Ashton.
That was pathetic. Honestly, what... When he's got Godden on his left hand...
Don't hold back, mate.
But he's got Godden on his left-hand side. Just play it. I don't understand.
I am not being so critical. You know,
that was useless.
A few hours in the gym, and I know how hard it is. So come on. Everything's riding on everything you do. So I think they've had a right go, and I'm not going to criticise.
That's where the coolness of head comes from, though, isn't it? Eccles has it. Moving it out towards the left-hand side. Can they show some poise in the final few minutes of this first half of extra time, or will the winner come late into stoppage time here at Wembley? It's been such a difficult season for Coventry City. They have overcome being away from home for 2 years. They've had to deal with delays to their season, pitch issues. Remember when they couldn't play because of the rugby at the Commonwealth Games? They lost Casey Palmer, an important player to them. They lost Callum O'Hare to injury as well. Can they come on strong late in this game here? Disruption at Luton Town has caused them issues too over the course of the season, but there will be 15 minutes for one of these two teams to try and take it, because it all ends here. And will it end in triumph, in open play, or will we be going to penalties? It's still 1-1. The second half of extra time is just about to come.
And we'll have it on Talksport, of course. Earlier today, Saracens won the Premiership title in rugby. That was live on Talksport too. We covered the final day of the WSL. Chelsea won the title, Reading went down. Bayern Munich won the title in Germany in the last minute, thanks to a goal from Jamal Musiala. All three playoff finals live on the Talksport network this bank holiday weekend. The League Two final is tomorrow between Carlisle and Stockport, a 1:30 kickoff on Talksport 2. Monday, it's the League One playoff final. Sheffield Wednesday against Barnsley. You can join me at Wembley from 1 on Talksport. Yeah, they're putting me on that game. And actually, we've got an interesting feature about the Wednesday Posh playoff semi-final that we will bring to you on Monday. You'll be able to laugh at me, which I know a lot of you will appreciate. All three European finals live on Talksport this coming Wednesday. We'll have commentary of Sevilla against Roma in the Europa League final. The following Wednesday, June the 7th, Talksport will be with West Ham in Prague as they face Fiorentina in the Europa Conference League final. And then on Saturday, June the 10th, Talksport will be with Man City in Istanbul for the Champions League final against Inter Milan. By then, we'll know if the treble's still alive, because the week before, Saturday the 3rd of June, here at Wembley, It's the FA Cup final live on Talksport, the Manchester derby, City against United. And final day of the Premier League season tomorrow, covered properly on Talksport. Games kick off at 3:30. We'll be on air from 2 on Talksport tomorrow. I'll be at Everton, who need to beat Bournemouth to guarantee survival. We will have live exclusive commentary of the other 2 relegation games for you. Leicester West Ham on Talksport, Leeds Spurs on Talksport 2, Villa Brighton, Chelsea Newcastle, Palace Forest, Southampton Liverpool, all live on the Talksport app. Just go to the live games tab at the bottom of the home screen on the Talksport app, and that will tell you how to listen to the game of your choice. And England have got Euro qualifiers next month as well. 6 points from 2 games so far. It's going well. Talksport will be in Malta for the first 2 games on the 16th of June. Then on the 19th, it's England, North Macedonia. That game at Old Trafford. We'll have commentary of both on Talksport. Can somebody win it here at Wembley? Live on Talksport in the second period of extra time, or is it going to be a shootout? It's Coventry 1, Luton 1. Here's your commentary team on Talksport: Dean Ashton, Ian Holloway and Sam Matchface.
Well, it's really tight, and there is another change. Dan Windle.
Groin of Elijah Adebayo pretty tight as well, Sam. He's brought off Joe Taylor on in his place up front for Luton. 15 minutes plus penalties to go in this Championship playoff final.
Yet to score, Joe Taylor, after his move from Posh in January. They spotted him, Posh, playing for Kings Lynn. He's now a Wales under-21 international. In his own words, he said the other week, "I like to get on the ball and face them up." Will he be going to the Premier League with Luton Town? We're underway at the start of the second period of extra time. And you're listening to Talksport. They did show on the monitors in front of us at half-time that there was contact between the goalkeeper and Jordan Clark. However slight it was, there was definitely contact because it moved his foot in a different direction. Do you think that if it doesn't go their way, they'll be complaining about that in Holloway?
I don't know, because Dino, who has
been a diver,
done it before, said he's done it before, called it, you know. Honestly, you did, Dino.
Yeah, I don't want penalties to be given for that, because there is a touch. There is a touch, but then he can put his foot down on the floor and he just decides not to, and then takes his own legs from underneath him to make it look like the actual contact has brought him down, and there is a big difference for me.
Jokeres trying to roll the defender, gets into the penalty area, manages to scoot the ball through the 6-yard box, and it's smuggled behind by Onyia Dinmar, and it's out for a corner kick to Luton Town at the Coventry end of the pitch. That's where they're attacking in this second half. And this is a big opportunity for Coventry City to try and get the ball in the box.
Jake Bidwell's got to run right over from the left to take it. Look at him, how slow is he? Come on, Jake.
It's been a long night. 16 minutes of extra time have been played, and Coventry have the first corner. The Coventry fans willing their team, trying to suck the ball into the net away to our right, and that's sky blue, a flick on at the near post, and it comes towards the penalty spot, flicked into the air with the scorpion kick by Kelly. It goes into the air and is met by the goalkeeper Horvath and cleared away.
Why is he near the box? Kelly again. He should be back.
You just leave him miles away.
That was such a waste. It was a good opportunity just to keep that alive in the box.
He's not a regular goal scorer, and he hasn't scored for 3 years. And I think we've seen a couple of examples as to why that is the case today. But he has been on the journey with Coventry from the 4th tier. He played in the playoff final here in 2018 in League 2.
The thing is, he's been outstanding at the base of that midfield, but pick your moments to not go forward.
Like most of them?
Yes, all of them. He'll go and score now.
Luton had 10 shots in the first half, 2 in the second. Coventry had 1 shot in the first half, 9 in the second. Just to show you how it very much has been a game of 2 halves between these two, but it is right now as tight as Superman's underpants.
And that's pretty tight.
It's what I've heard. 2.5 minutes into the second period of extra time. Rob Edwards looking pensive down in front of us, all in black. The ball thrown down the right touchline, and then it goes out of play. And there's going to be another opportunity for Fankati Darbo to take. Is he going to take the throw-in again? No, it's gone Luton's way. No, it's going to go back to Darbo. Onyia Dinmar thought it was a foul throw, and that's why But I think it hadn't come back in, had it? It just went down the touchline from Darboe, so he gets the opportunity to take it again. He throws the ball long down the touchline.
They've cancelled each other out, haven't they, the two sets of wing-backs? Normally we'd see Bidwell and Norton Cuffy when he started. You'd see both sets of wing-backs getting forward, being involved. They've really cancelled each. It's just been all in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah, I think the biggest change was to go two up front in the second half for Coventry, and they needed to, you know.
Well, those Coventry and Luton wing-backs have provided so many opportunities over the course of the season. But there's been significant changes to the teams now. Grame is still on. Darboe's playing at right wing-back for Coventry after having to replace Norton Cuffy. Bidwell's still on the other side. Anya Dinmar's on this left-hand side now for Luton Town, and they've got some defending to do. And Eccles tries to nudge it through to Godden, didn't quite come off for him, and it's cleared away by Luton. Berry forward to the far side. Luton now looking for a way to attack. It's with Carlton Morris, who's travelling down the right side, looking to brush aside the defender, who collides with him and go to ground. And then there's another swivel and a hit, and Doyle was dragged back. Morris was the guilty party, according to Michael Oliver, who was being a little bit too physical. I think it was with Ben Sheaf, although it looked to me as if Ben Sheaf actually wrapped his body around Carlton Morris. But it's going to be another delay and another free kick. 10 minutes to go. At
the moment, it's painful watching. Everybody's absolutely out on their legs, aren't they? And, you know, I'm sure both sides would take penalties at the moment.
03717 22 4 is the number to call if you want to speak to the boys on the boot room. We'll also have Eddie Howe on that show tonight. We'll get reaction with Dan Windle straight after the game as well. Remember, tomorrow the League 2 playoff final and the final day of the Premier League. What a day that is going to be. Can Leicester City jump over Everton and stay in the Premier League? Are Everton going to be relegated for the first time since 1951? They've been a Premier League or a top flight team since 1954. And can Leeds United pull off the miracle of all miracles and jump over both of them? It's going to be some day tomorrow. And that'll be live with us right here, all the drama. Adrian will be at Goodison Park, I'll be at King Power Stadium in Leicester. And we'll have commentary on Talksport 2 with Danta and Groves from Leeds United against Tottenham. All the big moments will be with you. Get the app, download it, flick between the two stations, or stick with us on Talksport and we'll take you everywhere and bring you commentary of that Leicester game. There's going to be another change here, so let's get the latest details from Talksport's Dan Windle.
Osho coming off, really struggling during that interval in the extra time. Sam, again, another player getting work on those quads, replaced by Dan Potts, Luton's final change.
Yeah, another one who's been around the block, Dan Potts. He's been at Luton for a long time, a former West Ham United trainee. He's been playing centre-back in a free whenever called upon. He's a useful addition to this team at this time of the game, a wiser head. He's 29 years of age, but he knows how to manage these situations. And if you're Luton, your mind has already drifted to penalties. They've had a bit of a problem with penalties over the course of the season. Would you start to worry about that now? Would it be coming to your mind, actually, do you know what, our penalty record isn't great, shall we try and sort of think about winning it?
I think you'd be trying to win it anyway. Sam, I don't think any manager ever goes, oh, I'm going to get to penalties. You know, don't work that way.
Marvellous Nakamba scrapping for the ball. He's fouled by Josh Eccles, who's a little bit too eager. If you're a player who's confident of taking one, you want penalties, do you?
Yes. Yeah, you don't mind. It's those players that really don't want it that'll be really worried and know that it's on its way. I think as a manager, I'm sure you just want players to put their hands up straight away and say they want to take it, and then it's down to your goalkeepers as well. I mean, Horvath has faced 5 penalties and not saved one of them this season. And Ben Wilson's only faced 1 and not saved it. But it is then all about your mindset. Can you handle an occasion from 12 yards? It's the ultimate test, really, for a player.
Which way are they going to be taking them? How unfair is that? If you,
it's the toss of the coin, I'm afraid.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
How can you get promoted on the toss of a coin on a penalty?
Well,
don't seem fair to me, but there you go. What do I know?
Luton have taken 3 penalties in the league this season. They've only scored 1. Coventry have taken 7 and scored 6. There's another delay because of an injury to Callum Doyle this time. And then we're getting to the stage where if they get through the extra time period, then you might have to take a penalty because it is just full of walking wounded. There's nerves on the bench. Dan Windle.
There certainly is. Jonathan Panzo set to be introduced for, it looks like, Callum Doyle. Dean Ashton, grab your boots. There's no one left down here.
Get the old speciales out.
It's the 5th substitute for Coventry City. And Mark Robbins just gives Jonathan Panzo a high five. Not always first choice, but a good servant. Started at Chelsea, been at Monaco. He's on loan from Nottingham Forest at this moment in time, Jonathan Panzo. He's about to come on for the final few moments of this game. And if you are going to come on and have to take a penalty, you need a few touches first of all, don't you, Ian?
You do, yeah, and I hate to say it, a lot of substitutes miss in penalty shootouts. That's a fact.
Well, we've seen that here. England in the European Championships found that out.
Oh, come on. Don't talk to me about England and penalties. Come on. Sam, let's keep it nice. Keep it positive. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. 5 minutes to go. You're listening to Talksport. Is there going to be a winner in extra time? The ball sent through the middle. And they've done a lot of work on penalties over the last few years, and they've got much better at them.
Is that right?
They've won a shootout. Here is McFadden.
Some of the worst moments in my life have been down to England penalty take.
Here is Kelly, over halfway. He's got space out wide towards the right-hand side, and Fankati Darbo. Darbo tries to take on Onyedinma. Onyedinma wins it and charges forward. And a chance for a break now. He's going at rapid speed. He gets taken down, does he, by Sheaf. Sheaf says he got the ball and the referee concurs. They turn it over once again, Coventry. Darbo shoots it forward. Jokeres takes it in. He's got support. Sheaf arriving. Tries to get round the back of Bell. Bell gets the challenge in. The referee says play on. Now, it was a good challenge according to Michael Oliver. And we move again forward down the left side. The ball a little bit loose from Clark, who's got a bit of cramp, and it goes out of play and away for a throw-in. 2 crunching challenges, Dean Ashton, right at the end of this draining game.
Yeah, well, look, it's easier to go throwing yourself into the challenge than it is probably trying to run at it. I mean, your legs are shot to pieces. It's not really that fun actually to watch the players when they're struggling like this.
No, they're so fatigued and overtired, aren't they?
Oh, and he makes a mistake.
And now it's a chance. Into the box they go. A right-footed shot from Taylor, and it's in. It's in. A mistake on the edge of the penalty area. Taylor has escaped, and Luton Town score with 4 minutes left on the clock. He's never scored a goal for Luton Town before, Joe Taylor, but he might well have just scored the goal that takes them to the Premier League. This playoff campaign may well end up being lucky number 7 for Luton Town. Jonathan Panzo off the bench has made a huge error, and Luton Town have capitalised, or have they? Is the referee going to rule it out because of VAR? Oh my word, what a dramatic moment. He's accused him of handball. The VAR, Chris Kavanagh, has whispered in the ear of Michael Oliver, and the goal has been chalked off.
Wow. It does hit his hand. But that's Taylor. It's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate.
That's not deliberate handball. And it's not the next action. So should it be allowed under the laws of the game?
Well, I mean, it's all
that
about the
looks
wording.
so harsh to me. That accidentally hit him on the hand.
Well, he goes into a challenge with Panzo. The ball flicks into the air. It touches the arm of the defender whose hand is up. The argument will be it's deliberate because his arm is up and above his head. And that constitutes a deliberate act because his arm is above his head, away from his body. And it's a tough call. And what a moment. The Luton Town fans, who were full of jubilation, full of celebration. They thought they were going to the Premier League. Joe Taylor can't quite believe it. What does that do to the mood, Dean Ashton?
Well, it crushes it, doesn't it? I mean, what a relief. Jonathan Panzo, I mean, how must he be feeling? He's come on and straight away made a mistake, slipped, made the mistake. How fortunate is he?
Wow.
I mean, it probably is going to be down as a technical infraction. They didn't ask him to come and have a look at the monitor, Michael Oliver, so they'll be pretty confident in their judgment.
I think your point that you made about his arm being so far away from a natural position will feel as if he's just gained such an advantage from his hand being up in the air.
If I was Luton, I'd feel totally aggrieved right now. With the contact up that end and then that one disallowed.
Well, that's two big decisions that have gone against them. Jordan Clark thought he should have had a penalty during the game. And a goal for handball has been disallowed. Joe Taylor, what a moment. Is there one more twist? Morris down the left-hand side, keeping the ball in, tries to take it beyond McNally, didn't have the ability to do it, goes out of play and away for a goal kick. That was absolutely shocking all over. I mean, it was one of those moments that just rocks you. You're a Luton Town player, you're all of a sudden going from an extreme high to a low. If you're Jonathan Panzo, you've just escaped the biggest mistake of your entire life.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, it's just rocked him to his core, and now he's got to readjust because he may well have to take a penalty in the next few seconds. 29 minutes and 30 seconds have been played. That extreme high for Luton has been snatched away from them. Coventry have been saved by a VAR decision. Absolutely fascinating. The ball goes back into the path of Reece Burke. It's clipped clear down the right side, looking for Taylor to run. These two players absolutely debilitated, sapped, dog-tired after 120 gruelling minutes of football. But their jaded limbs have got to step up one more time and decide who goes to the Premier League on penalties. 2 more minutes will be added. There isn't going to be another twist in this extraordinary tale. Adrian started the commentary by talking about fairy tales. Is there going to be a storybook ending? Here the ball is at the feet of Anya Dinmar, who's crossed into the box, is aimed towards Berry, can't get away from Bidwell, and it floats behind and away for a goal kick. Well, it's been absolutely sapping, hasn't it, just to sit here and watch it. You can't imagine what it's been like to play in it. Ian Holloway.
Well, you can, and this is the wonder of the playoffs. We're on the edge of our seat. Wow, which way is it going to go? I do not know. You couldn't separate them at the start of the day, and you can't separate them now.
Rob Edwards, when that goal went in, he thought they'd done it. He went steaming down the side of the pitch. He thought it was the moment. He did full Jose Mourinho celebration, and now his heart, which was beating at 180 beats a minute just a moment ago, is trying to calm down as there's a big strong challenge and a collision over on the far side. 2 players coming together. Panzo is one of them, and luckily enough, he bounced straight back up again, which was completely lucky. Berry's got back to his feet immediately, but you heard the gasp of the crowd because it looked sickening at one point.
It did. I mean, Sam, look, isn't that the worst, and some might say the best of VAR, when you have that emotion, but effectively he's used his hands to gain that advantage. I guess that's what it brings to the game.
It will be debated, I'm sure, intently after the match. Here is Wilson down Morris down the left-hand side, trying to send the ball into the centre. The header by Joe Taylor is over the top of the crossbar, and it goes behind and away, and that's it. It's finished. It's going to be penalty kicks that will decide the final of the Championship playoffs. The team that go into the Premier League will have to do so with nerves of steel from the penalty spot, and those penalty kicks are coming next. It's finished 1-1 over 120 nerve-jangling minutes, and more nerves will be frayed in the next few moments as well.
Sam, thank you very much. Well, let's get talking about that goal that was disallowed. He didn't mean to handle it, but he did control it with his hand, which was high above his head, Joe Taylor, and he then went on and put the ball in the back of the net. So should that be disallowed, Ian Holloway? Because it is accidental, but he's controlled the ball with his hands, but it is accidental. So should it be disallowed or not?
When I was playing, that would have been a goal. When Dean was playing, that would have been a goal. Now they've tweaked the rules, and I'm so confused, I do not know. If I was Luton, I'd be fuming.
What do you think?
Because it wasn't deliberate.
Ultimately, if I walked away from this game and you saw that doesn't seem fair. It would not seem fair that a game like this is decided by somebody using their hand, which they're not allowed to do, to help them to score a goal.
Accidentally, mate.
I know it's accidentally, but to me, I wouldn't want a game to be decided in that way. And so, for me, it is the right decision, but it totally saps the joy out of it.
Do you want me to read the law out for you?
Go on.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so the law says this: a handball offence is when a player scores a goal against the other team with their hand or arm, or scores immediately after the ball touches their hand or arm, even if the touch is accidental. The other offences that can be given as handball are a deliberate touch with the ball with their hand or arm, touches the ball with their hand or arm when it is in a position that makes the body unnaturally bigger, and when that position is not the result of the body moving fairly as a part of play.
Well, the ref got it right then. He got it right. We can't argue. He's right.
So he's right to disallow it.
Absolutely.
Is he? Because
because his hand is up. His hand makes him 6'6", and he's 5'9".
Isn't he protecting himself at that point from what he thinks is going to be a clearance from Panzo?
What? But his hand is right up in the air. What's he protecting?
Well, he's running
above his
towards the
head.
ball.
No, listen. If you lose a game to that goal,
I'm asking you the question,
and I'm answering it. That has to be. I love Joe Taylor. He came from my club. He can be electric. I think he was potentially a match winner, and he almost was. So what a story that would have been. His first goal for the club. So the fairy tale side of it, I want that to be the winner, but. Listen, if I'm a Coventry fan and I lose to that goal, I'm thinking something's completely wrong. And by the way, they'll change the law tomorrow. That'll be different tomorrow. They'll tweak it again. They tweak it every week. Howard Webb is here, so he was watching that and the dive. And I'm with you, Dean. His legs are taken away for no reason. I mean, he's taken his own legs away.
Yeah, exactly. There is a touch, of course.
Not all contact is a foul.
Exactly. Not all contact is a foul. And also, surely as an attacking player, if you can put your foot down and stand there, you taking your own legs away shouldn't count.
Absolutely. Ian, your question's been answered. I think while the Coventry players are facing their fans, the Luton players a moment ago were facing their fans. So I think we're still to be decided which way the penalties will go. I think it's wishful thinking from the players. Does it make a difference, really?
What if they take towards their own fans, each one of them?
But does it matter?
No, but what I'm saying...
you want one set of penalties this end and one the other end?
Yeah, so it's only the other goalie, you know? That's better.
I've never heard that before.
Why not? Oh, come on.
No, I don't disagree. I wonder why nobody's thought of that before. It does look like they're going to be at the Luton end. So the future as far as this penalty shootout is concerned is orange. And actually, on the subject of subs taking penalties, the only penalty missed in the League One playoff semi-final shootout between Sheffield Wednesday and Peterborough, Dan Butler, a substitute. So I'm with you. Subs, especially fresh ones.
Well, if you look at England, we brought them on to deliberately take it.
Stop reminding us of that.
Come on.
For heaven's sake. Listen, we've had plenty of drama. I think it's been a brilliant Championship playoff final here at Wembley, live on Talksport today. And there's more drama to come. Don't forget the boot room is coming up with Alex Crook, Bayaki Fenwick, Darren Ambrose. They'll be waiting to take your calls on this game and other football stories as well. 03717 223344. As soon as we're done here and the trophy has been lifted, we will bring you the boot room on Talksport. And Eddie Howe, the Newcastle manager, on the eve of the final day of the Premier League season and fresh from making top four Champions League next season, Eddie Howe, a special guest on the boot room on Talksport tonight. Look forward to that on my way home. But we are getting ready for this penalty shootouts at the Luton end here at Wembley Stadium. It finished one apiece after 90. It finished one apiece controversially after 120. How's it going to finish after a penalty shootout? Calling the shots, Sam Matterface.
Well, Ben Wilson had to go to the toilet during that break. This is why we had to wait a little bit longer than maybe we would have thought. The Coventry goalkeeper now taking his place away to our left-hand side. It's the first Championship playoff final to be decided by penalties since 2017 in that god-awful game by Huddersfield and Reading. Even the penalties were bad that day. 3 were missed in the shootout. And another playoff final 2002. Before that, Birmingham beat Norwich. Doesn't happen very often, but it is going to happen today. And Luton are going to take the first kick, and it is going to be Carlton Morris, who you would anticipate is their strongest taker, who is going to take the first penalty kick. And bearing in mind the problems that they've had all season with penalties, and they need to get off to a good start. Carlton Morris takes the ball into his arms and walks towards the penalty spot, and Ben Wilson, the Coventry City goalkeeper, is playing mind games away to our left-hand side. He is just making him wait that little bit longer. Carlton Morris is the top scorer. He's got 10 match-winning goals this season. Hasn't scored since May the 9th, but 9 in 14 before that. He's still being made to wait. The goalkeeper, who probably should be penalised here, is bouncing up and down on the line away to our left-hand side. Here's the first penalty of the shootout. It's Morris against Wilson. Morris eyeballs the goalkeeper. There's a hush around moment. He steps up right-footed, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, and that's the perfect start to the shootout for Luton Town, who lead by a goal to nil. Dean Ashton.
And that felt crucial in terms of the way you've got to get off to a good start in the penalty shootout. Plus, he had a process that he went through. You could just tell every aspect of when he put the ball down to putting it in the back of the net, sending the keeper the wrong way, a process.
Matt Godden is the first up for Coventry City. Scored against Luton at the CBS Arena in February, has scored from the spot this season twice already this campaign. And he places the ball down to take on Horvath for the first Coventry City penalty. Right-footed, straight past the goalkeeper. To his left, the goalkeeper went right, and it's one apiece in the shootout.
Wow, nerves of steel, fantastic. I'm nervous. How is he not nervous? He took that so well, brilliant.
Substitute Joe Taylor, who had that goal ruled out during the last portion of extra time after the Panzo mistake, takes the ball into his chest off Horvath and has to wait for Wilson again, who's gone behind the goal now, comes out to his edge of the 6-yard box. He's doing his best to use a bit of codology here, the Golden Glove winner.
I think the ref should stop that. That's wrong.
Yeah, his ball's been placed down inside the 18-yard box, and Taylor is going to strike it. Not scored for Luton Town yet. He steps up, right-footed, and arrows it into the corner. The bottom right hand. As the goalkeeper Wilson looks at it, he could get nowhere near it. That was like a missile.
Really short run up though, wasn't it, from Taylor? Just 2 or 3 steps, but then the ferocity of the strike, nice and low, right in the corner. Brilliant penalty.
Penalty drama on Talksport, the tension unbearable. Lockyer strides up to place the ball down on the spot. Nervously, the Coventry players line up on the halfway line, arms above each other's shoulders. Lockyer, who's been so often the match winner for them. Looks like it's going to be a straight run-up from him. He has missed the penalty this season. He steps up, right-footed, smashes it into the net. I mean, that was absolutely unstoppable from Victor Gyökeres, and it's 2-2 in the shootout.
I'm so pleased for him. What a strike. Exactly what you want him to do. He's been outstanding all game.
Marvellous Nakamba, the Zimbabwean international, who hasn't scored a goal in 87 appearances in English football. The last time he scored a goal was for Vitesse Arnhem in 2017. It doesn't happen very often for him. A left footer, he's on loan from Aston Villa for Luton Town. Takes 5 strides back from the ball, arcs his run up. He looks at the goalkeeper Wilson and sends him the wrong way and slips the ball past him and into the net. And it's a goal for marvellous Nakamba that makes it 3-2.
That'll feel better than marvellous. That'll feel magnificent for him. The coolness. He didn't look like he was going to miss, to be honest. Calmness as he ran up, made sure of the strike, whipped it into that side part of the netting. Beautiful.
Ben Sheaf gets the ball off Ben Wilson. Ben Sheaf, the Dartford boy who scored a vital equaliser when 2-0 down at home to Watford in April. He's had his calf problems recently, but he's been pretty terrific in this match. He's had a lot of the ball in the game. He takes the latest for Coventry City. It's 3-2. This to equalise at 3 apiece. He places the ball down, steps back, right-footed into the top corner. Horvath got nowhere near it. It's 3-3.
Absolutely delightful. Nerves of steel. Fantastic strike. They all look... It's quite surreal. I can't believe that they don't show any nerves. Dino, what's going on, mate? What a brilliant strike.
I think they take them serious now. Players practice regularly, all of them. It's seen as a really big deal at football clubs in terms of that process that you have.
And it's especially important today because each kick of the football takes you closer to the Premier League. Jordan Clark, who scored the opener for Luton Town in this game, places the ball down on the spot. Wilson bouncing around on his goal line. This for 4-3, an advantage in the shootout. Luton went first. He steps up, right-footed, and slams it into the corner. A brilliant penalty, a nerveless penalty from Jordan Clark. And it's 4-3.
And it had to be, because Ben Wilson really does throw himself to his right-hand side, and he's very close to getting the finger tip to it. But it was too good from Clark, right just inside that left-hand post.
Big penalty this. Huge penalty. Because if Josh Eccles doesn't score this penalty, Luton can win it with their very next kick. The local boy came through the academy, places the ball down. The last goal was against Birmingham. He steps up, right-footed, and slots. 4-4. And there hasn't been a mistake made yet.
Absolutely flawless. Well done, son. That's a long walk when you know they've just scored. Brilliant.
Well, sometimes you need a little bit of experience, and this man has it. Luke Berry to take the 5th penalty for Luton Town. He scored in a playoff final here. Promoted with Cambridge. Scored in an FA Trophy final. He scored 4 goals in one game against Coventry once. He needs to score this penalty. Some supporters can't even look. It's Berry, and it's in. Just about. Wilson went the right way, and he got something on that, I think, just a little bit, but it went beyond him and into the net. And now Liam Kelly, for Coventry City, the captain, the leader, the man who's been on the big journey, is going to take the crucial penalty. He has to score.
Wow, Sam, I am not envying him this. That's a long walk thinking, do you know, if I miss this, we're not... Hopefully he's not thinking like I am.
Played in the 2018 League 2 playoff final against Exeter, promoted to the Championship in 2020. He's been with Cov from the 4th tier. He steps up, right-footed, and rolls it into the opposite corner, beyond the goalkeeper who went to his left. And it's a brilliant penalty for a player who hasn't been able to find the net at all, or even the target throughout the course of the day. That was terrific.
Outstanding, absolutely outstanding.
Now it's nerve jangling. Now it is nerve jangling.
My palms are sweating otherwise, I just don't get it.
Dan Potts places the ball on the spot. A substitute for Luton Town. He addresses the ball. It's 5-5 in the shootout. No one's missed yet. He steps up, left-footed, and drills it into the bottom corner. What a penalty that was.
Again, brilliant. It wasn't probably savable, even if the goalkeeper goes that right way, Wilson. I don't think he saves it. They've been so good, the penalties.
Think about the pressure that's on the shoulders of all these Coventry players, because they're going after the Luton players, knowing that every kick now is sudden death. Every mistake that you make now, and it could be over. Every time you walk up to that spot, the future of the club that you represent is in your hands. It's at your feet. Fankati Dava places the ball down with a chance now to level up the shootout. He steps up, right-footed and blazes it over the top of the crossbar. It's over for Coventry, and Luton Town are back in the big time for the first time in 31 years. The orange shirts run towards their supporters in the east side of the ground, and it's party time for Luton. It's a crippling blow for Fanketti Darbo, who blazes his kick high into the evening sky. It's jubilation for Luton Town, who win on penalties by 6 goals to 5. One of the most thrilling rises through the English football pyramid is complete. From non-league to Premier League in just 9 years. An incredible story that will take some beating. Rob Edwards, once an arrival, is now the toast of Bedfordshire. The man that has finally taken them back to the top flight into the Premier League for the first time. Playoff heartbreak is now a thing of the past. It's lucky number 7 for Luton in the end of season jamboree. And they'll be off to Manchester City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Newcastle and Manchester United next season. It's a crushing blow for Coventry, who have lost in the most dramatic of circumstances. But it's Luton who will be going to the Premier League, promoted after winning 6-5 on penalties in the final of the Championship playoffs.
There's real raw emotion from those Luton players and staff and the manager, Rob Edwards. Gabe Osho has hands on his head. He can't believe what has happened, but he's going to be a Premier League player next season. And there was some real belief with those Luton penalty takers as well. As soon as their penalties had hit the back of the net, they were straight to their own fans, beating their chests, urging the fans on, and eventually Coventry cracked and they lose out. Their fans have all stayed behind. Nobody's made their way to the exits yet, and the Coventry players are going over to thank them for their support. But in the end, it's come down to a penalty, and Fanketti Darbo, a substitute, has missed the crucial penalty. Quality of penalties on show, absolutely magnificent, absolutely superb. And now it's left for Luton to celebrate and Coventry to be commiserated as we await the awarding of the trophy and the celebrations to continue. And what starts now is about £10 million worth of work this summer on Kenilworth Road. They've got to knock down a whole side of the ground, rebuild it in time for the new season. Well, it won't be in time because they'll have to play their first few home games away from home. But Luton Town are there from non-league to Premier League in 9 years is something else. What a story. At a time as well where the Premier League clubs are elite, when the gap between rich and poor is bigger than it's ever been. How Luton Town have gone from non-league to the elites is almost literally beyond belief. That is a football fairy tale without any question whatsoever. And any wonder all these fans are lapping it all up, because they've been through the hard times and they had some big support when they were non-league. They've been through the hard times, and here they are all these years later, 10 years after they were losing at home in what is now the National League to Braintree, to Telford. They lost at home to Kidderminster, and here they are winning at Wembley to get themselves into the Premier League. Luton Town, it's congratulations to the Hatters. But Dean Ashton, those penalties, apart from the obvious one, they were all truly outstanding, weren't they?
They were. I think we've seen it in many penalty shootouts over recent years. The standard, the level of penalty taking has gone up. You can just see in the quality of those penalties under the most severe of pressure. They've been able to handle it. They've been able to execute the penalty that they picture in their mind and put it into the back of the net. And then this is the raw emotion of football, isn't it? You know, the joy for Luton fans, but the absolute agony for Coventry fans. And Darbo, you've got to feel for him, especially being the only one to miss a penalty, how he must be feeling. Of course, with him, it's a terrible thing to have on your shoulders. But for Luton, I mean, what a story. What a story for them.
It's literally beyond belief what's happened to Luton Town, and the anger they still feel towards the FA for being docked 30 points, which took them out of the Football League all those years ago. There's still a big banner up at Kenilworth Road saying that they've been wronged by the Football Association. I don't see that going anywhere anytime soon. But they're going to enjoy these celebrations, and what a story it is for Rob Edwards, Ian Holloway, your old player at Blackpool. He takes Forest Green to promotion, takes up the Watford job, gets sacked inexplicably after a couple of months, winds up at Watford's big rivals, Luton Town. He's now a Premier League manager.
Well, all I could say is, as it was for us, tangerine and now orange suits Rob. I rang him and begged him not to leave Forest Green for that club. He said he didn't think it would matter because he didn't believe he could do any more with Forest Green. So I'm delighted for him, but what a day for Luton Town. What a day for my big mate Mick Harford. Absolutely magnificent. And I'm just sat here totally emotional because it brings back so many memories for me to see this, and that was 13 years ago. Absolutely incredible. Well done, Rob. Well done, Luton, and I'm absolutely devastated for that last penalty. Oh, honestly, but the quality of it all was, yeah, the game dragged on a little bit in the end, in the extra time, but the weather played that. I was really impressed with the whole day. They both did themselves proud, and congratulations to Luton.
Quick word on the whole situation. We talked about how they've bounced back from the long-term adversity they faced. They've bounced back from losing their captain in dramatic circumstances earlier today. Tom Lockyer, who collapsed and has gone to hospital and needs treatment. I just went to speak to some of the officials and asked who's going to lift the trophy, because they're still trying to work that out, because their captain obviously is not around. It might be Sonny Bradley or Dan Potts who ended up being the captain on the field of play at the end, but they're celebrating despite the fact that their teammate is stricken in hospital. I mean, the good news is he's up and he's conscious, but they've had to overcome that today as well.
Yeah, it was a big emotional moment for all the Luton players, and remember how much they love him. And to give you an example, when he's picking up all the awards, Tom Lockyer, at the end of season do a couple of weeks ago, he stood up and made a speech, and he said, we all get on and we all love each other because we're all weirdos. And none of them minded one bit being called a weirdo by the man they all look up to. So we wish him all the very best. And I would imagine that after the initial shock of it all, they found that inner strength to dig deep and somehow get over the line towards penalties, just for the skipper, Tom Lockyer. Well, the stage is being set for whoever is going to lift it. I suspect it will be Dan Potts, because he did have the armband at the end of the 120 minutes. Stage is being set for Luton to lift the trophy and go into the Premier League. The Coventry players are still out there. Some of their fans have left. They're still out there. They can't believe what has happened to them. They did play some great football, and actually while Gus Palmer was on the pitch, it looked like they may go on to win it. He himself got injured and had to come off, and in the end, after extra time had dragged on, it went to penalties. Quality penalties, as we say, but Darbo's, well, he's completely ballooned it, miles off target. And in some ways, I mean, listen, I feel for Coventry. Their keeper, Dean Wilson, in the shootout was giving it large to every single Luton taker, and I was thinking, mate, I wanted the referee to book him just to stop him, because it was doing my head in. I mean, I don't think, it clearly hasn't helped at all, because every Luton penalty was faultless.
No, yeah, he didn't really get that close in the end to saving any of the penalties. You see some goalkeepers have started to do this tactic where they try and delay and put the players off and shout in their faces as they're sort of putting the ball down on the spot, but you look a bit of a fool then when it doesn't come off. But I guess you try a lot of things to get your team over the line, and whether that's to pump himself up, I'm not too sure. But fair play to the Luton players, they didn't let it affect them. They took their time. Carlton Morris in particular, because he had to wait a long time to take that first penalty because of Wilson's antics. They stuck to that process. It's so important in these shootouts when the pressure's on.
Well, the Luton players have got a Tom Lockyer 4 shirt. They're holding it high as they celebrate right in front of us. They're leaping up and down in front of the cameras. This is before they lift the trophy. But they're holding the shirt of their skipper, Tom Lockyer, high. He's in hospital right now, and we wish him all the best. His family are alongside him as well. He had to leave Wembley Stadium really early in the proceedings today after simply collapsing to the ground. It looked like his legs gave way and he tried to get up and couldn't. And he was receiving air in the tunnel, so we wish him all the very best. They're holding his shirt and remembering that their captain has been a huge part of this. In fact, At the semi-final second leg, when they were 2-1 down from the first leg to Sunderland, he was truly immense. He made the first, scored the second. He was absolutely brilliant. What a leader Tom Lockyer has been for Luton Town. And actually, when we think about Kenilworth Road, Ian Holloway, that stadium's going to host Premier League football.
Yeah, it's been a long time since it has, and you know, it take me back as well. You know, some wonderful players I saw when I was growing up, and they motivated me to want to play a wonderful standard of football. They've always had style, haven't they? You know, so I'm really struck for words here. I'm totally involved in this down our end, isn't it? So we're in the Luton end, yeah. We're in the Luton end. It's absolutely amazing. We're waiting for the huge cup to be put in place. But all I can say is, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you can try and stay there. The last time I saw a team do this was Nottingham Forest. They stayed up. Well done to them. So good luck to Luton.
Well, none of the promoted sides went down last year from the Premier League, and that's the standard that needs to be replicated by everybody who gets promoted, be it Burnley, Sheffield United automatically, or Luton today via the playoffs. And Dean, listen, they finished third in the regular season, so some would say that's justice.
Yes, you would. Yeah, I mean, they had a fantastic season, especially the second half. Since Rob Edwards took over, he did take them on. He did improve them. He did find a way for them to be incredibly hard to beat, really difficult to score against. And they deserve their place in the Premier League. Let nobody take that away from them. They fully deserve it. I cannot wait to see every single Premier League team go to Kenilworth Road and be tested in what has always been a cauldron of an atmosphere. I think it's going to be great for the Premier League. We don't need constantly, you know, all modern stadiums. I want to see some of these old stadiums that have got so much character in the Premier League.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for that moment. Pep Guardiola arrives at Kenilworth Road, has a look at the stadium and thinks, have I come to the right place? And then sees our Luton play and thinks, oh my goodness, there's nobody watched my team since I've been here. But it takes all sorts and it's different styles, and he will have to put up with it. If he doesn't like it, I don't think Luton will care one jot. Imagine Luton getting a result against Man City next season at Kenilworth Road. Imagine that. 5 titles in 6 years. Imagine Luton, non-league 9 years ago, getting a result against City.
Anything's possible in this chaos of football, mate. It is.
Well, you're absolutely right. Anything can happen. Seriously, who would have thought a decade ago Luton would be on their way to the Premier League? Well, it's happened. And the dream is still alive. The pyramid is still alive. And Luton have proved that this afternoon as the players make their way up the steps here at Wembley to receive the trophy. Still jubilation as they make their way. Coventry players are still out there. They're going to be watching all this unfold. But the Luton players are on their way. So let's take you to that trophy lift. Luton Town, our Premier League. Here's Sam Matchface.
Well, Luton Town, from crippling points deductions, almost certain collapse and playoff heartbreak, have risen. They have risen. Gary Sweet, the CEO, David Wilkinson, the chairman, singing Yaz's Only Ways Up in the Royal Box after refocusing and reorganising the club to point them in the direction of the Premier League. 107 steps up the Royal Box in the North Stand, snaking past supporters as they climb to reach the dignitaries. Trevor Birch and Steve Birch from Sky Bet, as the players look to get their medals and their symbols of success. Sonny Bradley is leading them up the steps. Dan Potts is there as well. They've overcome adversity. Their captain today not available because of a collapse in the first half. He has gone to hospital. Dan Potts with the armband on now, walking up the steps and walking across the balcony in order to receive the first medal of the lot. Sonny Bradley, who did do 19 appearances in the league this season, will probably lift it. They did lose their manager Nathan Jones in the break for the World Cup, but barely really noticed because they bravely took a punt on a manager who was clearly a talent but was ruthlessly discarded by Watford. And he won 7 of his first 11 matches. What a job he has done. He was appointed on November the 17th. They were 10th at the time. And now they are going to the Premier League. He celebrated his last championship playoff win as a player with Blackpool with a lads trip to Vegas. Not sure that's on the agenda this time. They've got to get ready for the Premier League. And they'll start planning with the chairman and the CEO, Nick Harford, who's still integral to Luton. There'll be parties galore tonight. It's a club triumph. All their famous supporters like Sir Alistair Cook and TV star Nick Owen will be celebrating this. Somewhere looking down on them, I bet that Eric Morecambe will be smiling down on the club tonight. They have brought the sunshine. Kelly Ruddock in pants, who gets his medal around his neck. He can't quite believe what's been achieved. He's been a massive part of this club over the course of the last few years, taking them through all of the stages of promotion and into the biggest and best division of all. All the Luton Town fans waiting with anticipation now for that moment where Sonny Bradley can put his hands on the trophy, and Luton Town are recognised as the Championship playoff winners. Luton's future is bright. The Premier League will get a dash of orange. Luton are coming back to the top flight for the first time since 1992. A terrific victory for the town, a terrific victory for the club, and they will be playing top flight football for the first time in a generation. The celebrations start, the orange flags are being waved in the evening sky. A beautiful evening for a party, and Luton Town will be getting theirs into full swing.
Edwards last in line, but he's got a big smile on his face, and why not as well. Dean Ashton, Luton Town finished third. They get there. They're in the Premier League next season. It's an incredible story, and this afternoon I think it's been other than extra time, which did go on a little bit because everybody was so shattered, I thought it was a fantastic advert.
Of course, again, it just shows you, what these divisions, the pyramid of English football is all about. It's why we love it, and it's why it should never ever change, because it brings the trepidation that comes with these absolutely massive games because of what's at stake. And I'm looking from a player's perspective. You are a penalty kick away from either maybe fulfilling a dream of playing in the Premier League against all the wonderful stars that are there, and remaining in the Championship to have to slug it out again for one more season. It changes careers, these matches. It's that big. For some of these Luton players, this will define their career. They might go on to play Premier League football for years. It's that big for some of these players, and that's why we love it.
That massive cheer was for Rob Edwards, the manager, lifting the playoff trophy. Ian Holloway, final words from you. The dream is still alive. You've managed at all levels. Luton have shown what's possible.
They have, and I'm delighted, and it's also a lesson for club owners. Why get rid of a manager who's clearly got the ability to do what you gave him the job a few weeks earlier to do, and really it's right under your nose. Stop doing it. Well done, Luton. Fantastic for your supporters, fantastic for your football club, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy every step of the way next year in the big time, because the big time is too big sometimes. This is the real football. This is what life's all about, seeing all these wonderful Luton fans still back their team no matter where they were. They keep going, and that's football. That's England, English football. That's the English pyramid, and I'm so proud of them. Well done, young Rob. You are an absolutely magnificent example of how to lead people.
Well, the Premier League's about to get a dose of football soul next season. Ian Holloway, Dean Ashton, thank you very much. All the reaction to come from Wembley during the boot room. Eddie Howe's on that show as well. We've got the final day of the Premier League season tomorrow from 2 on Talksport. All games kick off at 4:30, and there are 2 relegation places still to be taken. Only one of Everton, Leeds and Leicester will survive. There will be drama and emotion on show, but Luton Town can sit back, feet up, let it all unfold on Talksport, and they'll find out who they'll be replacing in this summer's close season. It went to penalties. It was a no-no from Darboe, and the Hatters shattered Sky Blue hopes from non-league to Premier League inside a decade. Luton Town, Kenilworth Road, never thought I'd say this, are now elite, and you heard it on Talksport. The boot room is next.